political party and by extension Ghana. Esan say yekotu abade nanso yenim say omukogina na yetomo so aba in the presidential elections now. It's possible they may win or they may not win. And I believe strongly that befa each of the candidates no and what they bring to the table. Say yehwe Honorable KANTANKA or your MP, one of the leading members of the New Patriotic Party, a ban on New Patriotic Party in himself or one of the chief financiers of the political party. Now share the Sikabwa and my party need to make also. You share Honorable Adenimo yenim so no so no abwa party no akuna se bebre so. Dr. Efri Yakoto, the immediate past Agric Minister of the Republic of Ghana. Enyina enim yetaka de bia say the planting for food and jobs no odimu tintiman ehwe say beba so. Ye share the current Vice President of Ghana, His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumianswa, is somebody in his own right awabwa the New Patriotic Party yepa. Enti be di omo nkomo ahwe say what can they also do or bring to the table to ensure say omo win primaries now and going forward if Ghanaians are magnanimous enough to give the power to lead them, what can they do? I'm not doing this alone. The Mayor Kasaya, I'm here with Madam Rodalyn Imoro Ayana. She will be helping us with the discussion. Sansoso Alhaji Mohammed from Pong. Ombe Boy, my discussion nakoso. Interbeja4, you are welcome to today's program.
Yeah, Joso.
Yo, Madam Sepa say, your tone suffer Maba. Munina him say, ye can't amanyo semani ye o mani ye. Enti political parties a very good component of governance in our country. Esansi them say a political party and a forming a bind. Ye them say this November 14th, so no, the New Patriotic Party are on the polls. Ye better each of the candidates and what they bring to the table. Esansi this is the first step they are taking to be able to lead the country. Into in no particular terms. Let's start with Alhaji Imoro. Alhaji Mohammed from Pong, so sorry. Now I share the first person on the table, Honorable KANTANKA Pong. Senyamiana Dom, now with me winning as a flag bearer of the NPP. Now eventually, Ghanaians can say the Jumaye Suini, in Jamaica Mampenia. In general terms, no, what does it bring on the table?
Yo, Nidi Kai, Michia, Ashefus, Inina. Na makase edabo adiase say adepache na yetimi ababetna studio ha yabobo nsem ho Honorable KANTANKA Pong medwen say wonye nipa bia sebi yo ye behwehwe ehu nipa ban ana say nisu ana say ebia say ofri ana it say as a central member of parliament wedi abemo tintima kakra na clear say already no we will be a sending sinimu no we businessman.
Yes.
No echinye bia nim we businessman enti ene baako eno sign ewo mrashepedwom enti waboa aban anase wodi aban mu ache na business any governance organization enya ade a ubitimi apeja utia kan say the same thing in the first place akandi nso no obia ewo kwan a ofaso eboaboa edom ano amamuo titru no enye me ka say isolated business.
Okay.
Enye se bia me akoko be a cold store ana se makoko be a supermarket na mafa edwumayefo se omo entrem ene bia kire se me mape edwuma ama enkrofo. But of course business sense there Honorable KANTANKA Pong ne nkomo diemu ne yomu ye nyina nim se wa kansen bebre ama sebio yenya yatie no anase yenya ahwe no e wa chichiri ye hunio nka oba obetimi aye ene baako na akandie nso so eye ade nso so a ɛno so sɛ ɛyɛ ade foforo kandie a etimi boaboa nipa no ɛma yenya botaye bi no so ɛyɛ different matter.
Okay.
Enti sɛ ne wosi kan nipa no sɛ ne wosi keka no ho sɛ ne okasa.
Okay.
Ɛne sɛ ne wone nkrofo di nkita ho ni nyinaa yɛ ade a ehia papa ɛwɔ kandie mu. Ye will be a kase, protocol science, meeting the aspiration of the people. Meeting the aspiration of the people, no, a natural leader.
Okay.
Say, we are a candinia. And ye, NPP, no, say, a beer, Jumedi, Adebako. And, say, Ghana has a say, say, you Ejumaye will be a quite natural say we all know. And no Adebako. Nemum creating the atmosphere. Say near me, as a candini or semi timmy Emma a quenya or money in emu na sebi ama amambu any timamu for edini and also so a for.
Okay.
And then o candidate ni su ene ne ban ne kasemu temperament say bufu eba tentem ne nema no eno so e ade a efrafra
alaji we dey mean twa no a brief profile of Honorable Ken Japan.
That's right.
If you are maybe saw the next question na
okay.
We share the profile ya wono on the 16th of June 1960. He's a Ghanaian politician, a businessman, as you said, no, or represented the people of Ascent Central on the ticket of the New Patriotic Party. And he was first elected to Parliament in 2000. In 2001, till ended 2024, and what Parliament for how many years?
So many 24 years.
24 years.
Yes.
And you're the chairman of the Defense Committee of Parliament. What can I say? Say as mampenia, you share temperament, you share near. A school of thought say Honorable Ken Japan, say the temperament is bad. In relationship with the media, to some men of God, and even his own party. If I want to chronicle issues, they are dorsal. Or describing the party, they say, just current election, of course, you showdown. Do you think such a person with a temperament, Ghanaians need such a leader? And I say, in a different person, be Alaji.
Me doso mukakra.
Okay.
Ozena me kan bibi say o kandini sebio eye complete quality a wo say wo ana suban bi a eda nso. Wo say utimi inspire. And say utimi emma wachitafo. Ana say domedi wachi no.
Okay.
In Kenya bi. Say sebi wo nane wo kora kan se bi a me ye we no. Omo gidie bi wo mu.
Okay.
And nipa nso so sebio wo ye leader wo kata wo nkrofo so.
Okay.
Enye ni nyina na wo yi ntuma wo mo so efiri wo mo so. Na wo mo edadeja. Very, very important. And yes, like you said in the profile, no, it's quite beautiful. Now the temptation is there. If you're a businessman, and you're sufficient. So a businessman is sufficient. Now the other areas, I can say, yen memories say no. Protocol say be governance architecture. To say say 2 parties in Ukra or more a memu no. Or more find it very difficult. Say ye who say was say ye fakwan bi so na boaboa edom ano. Ejuma nipa be de enka is very, very simple. Ejuma nipa say bia enkonko ba say bia yes. Honorable Ken very lofty ideas in certain areas. So but hypothetically no, who outside here we bet me akeka we mu nyina but wonya mamu no so no ye hwe kukusa ni hawo ne nema kasa obu ha look sebi o opanyi wo odi
Nitrin.
yeah
Apia.
okay na apia so wo hia me
Okay.
wo hia me ebia maye omo ebi o se me kata wo so so konkon kra ka se se nsa benkum ye bibia ni se nsa nifa ehu nifa eye bibia oni se benkum ehu na people feel more satisfied say why bibi pa bia ma wo mo na sebi yenti no ba bia no akata wo so eno no ema nipa no ahoden bi crab ema no di wachi ena normally e kandini bia no enye se wo kwakọ force obi se wo so wo no di wachi o wo ne ye
okay
ene kwanya wo fa so eye wo ne ma kra no ema nipa no enya nkenya bi se nipa smesi se we na wo se me di nachi na woye makandini a they will do it for you so na sebio se me fa patapa kwan bi so ana se me fa kasa bi so ni bebrebe sa no eya to sini kakra enti eno na nti anabukan Japan woye a very complex personality na bi wo ha ye hu ebi so wo ye hu but me normally to be on the safer side me hypothetical cases se ni eba beye na mum ni aya mehuno eno eni bia ebeka ho asem enti me fan say see ahenefo it's up to them ni enhwe se ni o mesi akita nafa because omene no asane ache na ne yo nso so me fan say mo di edi ne chi ache enti omo na finally no o meti say
okay alaji ebedasi for your initial comment Madam Rodalyn Morayana.
Just call me Rhoda.
Rhoda. The attorney said, Wakabebre, Alaja Kabebre. Nimpebia so wo ne positives. So going into this presidential primaries, what are some of the positive things this particular personality, the MP for Asen Central, bring you on board as Honorable King Japan? Some of the positives he bring on board going into this particular presidential primaries.
Mecha Ashwefo. Canada Japan or should I any pa me shine pen. But me tien crofwa one more dinner one dance here. And me san kind bibi kakra e fano. Na so wo hwe ya bakosem I think he's going to be the first businessman who will say or person. Of course we've had others try. Nyante no money one in the 70s and no, na make a nyante no money one, but they were like smaller units. And since we share two major parties now, this person comes out as a businessman or per se or dinim. And so we share now we tie in some Nkrofo philanthropy is one of the basic things that Nkrofo bia eka one ho that he's very philanthropic, he's very caring, and he's very passionate about so obey nya ejuma aba ebema young people, yes. The youth. He's very, very, very passionate about that.
Okay.
And so what Kennedy Japan, he comes across as somebody or cannot drink. And that is one thing Ghana for we do not want to know.
Okay.
We don't want to know that. But a nipapi or cannot drink, that's the end of it. Oba or say 22. That means we all know. Asembe biom na obeka. Me pema asembe biom na obeka. What you say? Or say me penkwasi asem taf sebio. And that those are things that we are not ready because of cultural norms. And cultural practices. And you feel say, and this is bema kakrana wufu. Now I say, but sa someone a woman on fine sheni or the pied outright, outburst. Waka. Who say what you say? But what sound share senior or behavior, you realize that he goes back and he reflects.
Okay.
And sometimes he comes back or say, oh man, can say my dream is let's just say he has reflected.
Sure.
Put that against other people who are not talking at all. Yes, in some see they are not talking because yes, my idea because me can't say maybe ebeko atiame towards this thing I want. Sankrofon mom na dangerous because sanipa no or the ahye no ho. And all trying say onya ade no we are not or the aba.
Rodana unjin say the position of president, you must exhibit high level of diplomacy. In same be wo ha yenka. You when be say emotional intelligence is very, very important as a leader. Don't you think, or can I join? We all agree with you. But the TNS say, it was say, or you're very much restrained in talking about issues now.
in those days, now social media, diplomacy was one of the things that Obia Phil say as a leader you must have.
Okay.
Okay. Of late, which year leaders in some I don't think people are being diplomatic anymore.
Okay.
I don't think so. So we share TV so let's say even let's take even Gaza anyway, Israel as a me.
Yeah.
Listen to world leaders, some world leaders, blunt. Because we are all discerning human beings. That will bite us to action. And so for me, that temperament, is it something that can be managed? Where does he exhibit it? So what you say? Does he exhibit it to his workers? Does he exhibit it? And at what level? And exhibitors are a problem. No. So what you say? Yeah, Tikroma, yeah, full say Obi in Kasa. We have stayed in a government for 7 good years. No one has Obia. Okay. Okay.
Say elections across the length and breadth of the constituencies.
Okay.
In Tiabefano. Ama Mpachoti enka. Ama Asantua Krobia Otienka. Hello, Ama Asantua Krobia. Ama Saman constituency. Hello, Ama Asantua.
Hello.
Pachoti enka de.
Mpachoti Timonka.
Yada sepa se wasum ewo Ama Saman constituency. Na elections no koso Ama Saman.
Yeah, memo akwa baba Ama Saman constituency se ni nyina ni se na de da sonko no. Ya bepie mu ewo ehase na bato no koso wa no basa ye bia ema ni musu bambo hu nsem so eda na kwa mu ewo Ama Saman abato mpesia so hase na omanko a wo mu show manim se da no ebekwa wiye no na wo machini aba ebeto wo maba 531 ena wo mu hwehwe animu kwan ewo ha police station executives no mo hwehwe 495 ena beba bepie mu ewo ha constituency executives 17 electoral area coordinator 17 MP awo ha so waba betuna ba oniyanko afrika minsa owo ha emepam ye betia da no ye no atwetwe nkomo saa so ene mbesi kachi pani owo ha se ono so no mo hwani mu kwa so no na baba abetu abase ne mdi kai no mo hwani mu kwa se ni 331 and 531 and beba bepie mu ha abetu aba na de atwagu nyina ye nipa o ma bosanti eko akwato aba na senia enyama kwaye wo ha no di ha we be like no kwa aposifo ewo ho omokaji akade bi ekitawo a wo betimi bi akwa ni sha eyiku omokaji ede aguko ansa na wakọ.
Hello, I'm Otienka. Okay, I'm say yeah, free ama ewo ahomano so nti ye betwa so. Roda na wo ka say ye share honorable kan Japona or Canadian. I want to ask you this question.
Yeah.
Over the years since 92, ba democracy from military rule no. Yenya anybody a businessman I'll be president. What are some of the benefits Ghana stands to gain? So you're talking about the market in Japan as a businessman of a sort, Ghana ebenya.
So you know, Canada, Japan, he has created businesses. And he has a message. Everywhere that he has been, he has identified something within the regions that Ophil say this should bring some form of business. And then you also look at the fact that he believes in industrialization.
Okay.
That is the pillar of development. If you can develop your country through industrialization, it's a pillar of development. Meanwhile, he talks about it. Businessman, no, maybe from Kwame Nkrumah Breso, we've had lawyers. Before was a lawyer.
Yeah.
Liman a diplomat. Yeba first president or a lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeba running no military coming through there.
Yeah.
And Shebuzia, he was a technocrat, was an academician.
Sure.
All these people, and where has it taken us? So it goes to say it is good for us to try something new.
Okay.
We try it in the lines of Trump, okay, and see whether we will be able to create something. At least, we believe that the Ghanaian is capable. It is not all about paper. It's the law, Then we find ways and means to circumvent the law. So because we are technocrats, because we read, because we know. Until we find ways and means to circumvent the law. So Nyame can say 7 years in government. Looking at Canada and Japan, I think some people would not still have been in governance.
Why do you say so?
Because I don't know. I'll say, so where Juma and so in Ghana force where Juma and so near, I'll sack you. If there's evidence to prove, say, you're not doing the job. We are in this country. Look at the economy, baby Edu. How many Ghanaians haven't stood in even a queue to say, look, Finance Minister call. He's still there. Yeah. We first said Canada, Japan can still out that so whole, but now dada. Sometimes you need people like that. We don't always need to cover up ills because of loyalty at the detriment of the development of the country. You don't have to do that. It's a nipa no ya dia enye essence say the person is loyal to you and I say we feel say oh I was so covered because he's part of me to cover it and the rest of us will suffer any ayeti hey akrona pansamono. What you say? So sometimes when me feel say Kennedy is fresh, he's bringing something new. Maybe he understands the language of development. He understands the language of creating a job. He understands the language of bringing something to the table at the end of the day because he pays people. He creates jobs. He goes out there, he sees opportunities that you sitting in the office, just reading through law books and whatnots, you might not see. But yes, here. And one thing that he says is that anything what Ghana should be used to the benefits.
Brother,
Ghanaians by Ghanaians.
Yeah, well, example, US of A, Donald Trump, or a big-time businessman, or a president of US of A, who share a track record as president. Wouldn't you say the business people, no, they have no business being in government? As I say, they feel they have the money. And he said, begin to be what you want to do, we can do. So comparing this example of Donald Trump in the US of A, and Ubisa almost about half of Ghanaians, and they believe that he measures America. Don't you think that voting for Kenya Japan, the same thing may repeat itself in Ghana?
We thought that voting for a lawyer would make Ghana a land of honey. Is that what we are getting?
You have to tell me.
I'm not. I'm not sure that is what Ghanaians are getting.
Okay.
And you know, Donald Trump, when he came into governance, people who want to do the right thing will tell you that he did something. Those who felt that anywhere, the person is not doing this because it's not benefiting them, sort of.
Okay.
So for me, like I said, Kennedy minimum. Okay. But listening to him, looking at what he did for, even like going to build a cardio center for 37, it wasn't his business. Government's supposed to be doing that. He goes to Tamale, he gives them a generator. Government's supposed to have tried to do that. It didn't happen. He goes to Akofanochi, he does something. Everywhere, he is there. Okay. You understand? People tell you that, look, you go there with your problem, he's there to solve it. Grassroots of his party are crying out and saying, he listens to us, he talks to us. That's the most important. They are the leg people. And to say, if today, or say, me na me de me hoba, and na me ni to me no, me to me ba mo fie, and mo bekasa, me ni to me no, me to me create a juma mamo, me ni to me no, me tia mo school fees, any Ghana for, and yeah, and NPP for one, and isu. Say, he's been helping. It's everywhere. Okay. What you say? So for me, let's give another person a chance. A businessman, yes.
Your point is well made. I say, Honorable Ken can do more as a businessman when he's given the nod as president. I
believe so, and I believe also that his temperament, that we call as a negative, can be managed to be positive.
Okay, that's it. And Madam Rhoda, for your wonderful submission. Yanko Honorable Francis Adenimoso. For me, I think little is said about this particular man. Something brief about him. He was born on the March 23rd, 1965. A politician and a member of the 6th Parliament of the 4th Republic on the ticket of the NPP, or representing the Mampong constituency in Ashanti region. And if you look at his career trajectory, you see he is a Christian, also married with 3 children, and he's a development planner, basically a civil engineer. You share this particular person and then more. A serial contestant. There's almost every time Bian or contested. Okay, Yanko Madina constituency, na Yanko Fa, your reporter, or na yan share the course of Madina constituency.
Yeah, sure. I know now you prefer for Nyama Ben, na mudi egu from you say after you have been and machine with your follow the papa. And I am seeing say.
Oh, she said, yeah, you see, because of this exercise in Tino, and I'm on the yak to Kakra, Madina constituency, you have Marco and a PK form. You did count PK from Mr. Robert Lampy, I don't want to friend who come. You're talking to me, honorable Padma for a Japan. And your Dr. Solomon, watching, now the last person, Tialu. It is time for 4 years, and then Yamea Doma. Party ni Pierre Quaya, I'm a betting. I'm a betting, not betting committee, and Jomutuma. I'm the member constituency. That constituency is when Yaquina, I'm from Swaba. Mama, you live about Madina City, no, about Jeffrey, the incompetent to sue because of young Mudia or Yawa. I saw the Madina dear agro. I saw the Madina to a guap of bread. Ya don't cry and tell you, may be an Azoya Friday because the schoolboys Nazabeth take over Madina now. It's your funny papa. People dream Madina. People on the Madina then I come out. People be CST Madina. People about Madina for time. If you say Madina, now honorable Abubakar at the 20 them. Then you never to simple to do my honorable Abubakar at the 20 or the 12. Hey, baby, no be a if to do Madina here number 1. It's a circle. The honorable Abubakar at the body for safety about the truck or the aquarium.
And you have been a motion and they don't have any now that when this was a year and then before I ever told Musobano at the day.
Oh, yeah, any man said, party for Omuya is here, Henry, a child for a baby drum more on Makuma Epe, who be the party in you. People for Omu contest, your decline, a honorable Kennedy, a couple of Ejafon. Dr. His Excellency Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Baumia, Dr. Honorable Dr. Akoto Efiye, and a doctor, your friend is Honorable Dr. Adenimo. So you are contesting Obia Ucha, Obia Kama, send this phone and go way over my bemwa, because we have your mama on go to post. Omuni BD and your mama go on the post. Yet they conform and no factor. The party for baby drum pay, drum set, see a different none another down for the cook. To me, Ashenisa 2025.
Whether that's a pass on your brain,
Miss Madam, your family president for something, Madina constituency secretary, General 1, future president.
Now, Openia Casano and a church for at the Ma a year, Madina, a manual. Now, you're sure and penny for me, none of the kind I can't say, or more Pimohana was say to me a chair, one more anno adventure. Now, you're sure Yama, if you are Quemo, this is your woman, and after a 50 no name and Nayavato the Cosono. Penny more papa.
But I'm also, and I'm a chair.
But then you will be brand new.
But your friend Alhaji Jafaru Said Karen, many the communications officer, I did not question. Samson America Sama Pachino, Agabina, and
yes, sure, and opinion says yes, papa, and Pepper Swab, you to move at the home, again, the air cost ever.
So I can say a muda hoa, not mean shed and just
okay. Yeah, me passion say yes, says a twabano. You know, the effective security level to me up a year, and every to talk from mobile and no any.
I mean, for Konya, so emphasis that can see and from secret for no Osha Odan, no about a police phone in a Umutina. Omwedi Omuhuni. Omu not to use an Obia Edin. Into Opa Fiano Pana Yabai, the Pumi, yeah, Obia Etuna by 0.7 Obia. Akomisi akoso bi nti ye ka asumdwe a party no asumdwe kwanso ye tru ya aba eda ho wo hwe bebia amanfo eto abai a se ne ya hihye nyoma no wo akankasa wo pese obde basa yo be de e be back because bi ada ho fine ye wo hwe line no mo bo nse line so no si gina ho obi pia e wo ne line nti nya tu so pe boko no akwa to aba nke ko ba ne se ye bu obi fam se ni se na di tempinche no be de e be pa ne mo bi ada ho ka o te die en ko basa bi am
Ede na wo hwe ni Mr. Antana about to na video na NPP amanyo ko ni nyina no etumi aye na wa kuma so ade no tumi.
Oh say NPP ye de nyoma miensa na e de ko 2024 Yeah, the NPP edin and educate 2024. Akono NPP edin ya akono obia eji NPP tumo. So nya ya educate 2024 no. Ansa na NPP ye record Kufo record ena His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo record eno so ka ho ena ye de ekọ 2024 ansa na sankrofo anan ya omo contest yi mesi omo bia obeba bia no yen NPP for ye ton no magana for beton into out of the four no ye yi baako say Kennedy o say ye Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia His Excellency o say ye the same akoto say o say engineer adanimo mesi ne ye be ni bia no kana for aye crowd no obi bia ewiasa fa na nyina kana nyina obia abue neni obia bia na so ehwe ne ekoso say ye betu aba na ewie mu na bibia koso thought confusion there na ne ye be yi no Niensa nkaifo no omo nyina beba abom na party man so ehun say no kro ye unity na ye kan say e wo ye party mu no e be dedi na 2024 ye come ye come with the name NPP ye come with the name the record of NPP na Frankatuni no so no otaiti
ye reporter e wo Madina constituency e Adwoa Dente ana ye tie ne nka no e tumi hu say delegate for no akeka ho ye pa mo to aba no nti Madina constituency ne ye about 1,574 delegates almost to about the presidential candidates. In Tibesa call around being a other people to speak to them across the length and breadth of the country. KANTANKA TV na go so awhwe. Ye beto aso ye call honorable Adanimoso. Because he is a member of the New Patriotic Party. We all know that. In 2012, he contested for the Mampong seat on the same ticket and he won. He served as the Member of Parliament for Mampong between 2008 and 2016. He contested the NPP's presidential primaries in 2014, which he lost. In an annual National Delegate Conference in 2015, he stated that he is surprised that there are new faces in leadership. And in recent times, he has joined the race again to contest as a flag bearer in 2024. And basically, not much is known about this man, but he himself or a leading member of the New Patriotic Party was serving as the MP for Mampong constituency for some time, or a civil engineer. Because or a serious contestant, I said, be Otaba. Now, Ojidi said there must be a change in leadership. In Jalaji Mohammed from Pong, what are his chances? And I make say, what do you think he has or he can do? Are you a bit my ear? If he is given the nod to lead the New Patriotic Party.
Every incommodie efa akandie ho. See the golden quality I woni pebiemu leadership. More board Donald Trump din as a business person.
Yes.
But just one term no. Mvan say na US that's why
Alaji only road and say business people can govern.
I mean, leadership is a different thing.
Okay.
You can be whatever you are. Sebi. But fine cry out tifom. Now the quality what inspire following. Inspiring the following is the most important thing to get results. And now you see, Obi yentimi nka bibia sabi o yam fa kiro konkron e mata ho. I'm a Muslim. Na onyame ka se wo ye akandifo a woni ye ne okasa ma emma nkuranhye emma nipa ensuro nyame na onye papa. Very, very important. Enti utimu se the vent for leadership. Your action and speech are very, very important. Good. And that's what I'm saying. And and that is through which you can determine, say, Nipano, were you leader or not. Now I'm back to Adenimo. Engineer Adenimo is somebody I admire a lot. Seriously. We're very consistent. We're a team player, very quiet. He doesn't make noise. He's very consistent. I followed him, from afar. on fa bufuo enyanasem and throughout his campaign or can they be say look about we buy one so pani mukrada enye bibia but at least you know or doing say it was say the party must be kept together. Now whether you like it or not, no, we are dealing with the following. You know, say a chitafo do drone and ahokeka sebi in politics we are the akwa say the drone on sabe so very important. You know, the people who can organize, because after all, well, you can't governance. It's about organization. Eti nipa do drone a obetimi ama wonsan a share wo mono and non amount the possible chance, you know. And like you're saying, you know, you so much of him, but he's not rocked the boat. He's not rocked the boat so far. Ubinti min kasebia and a deni mu, you know, I think he's admired. And I've also listened.
Alaji wedi emi ntwa no. Okay. A report about ko ewa homa so. Mami esi inkebel. Ene medi nkomo. Mami esi utimi nka.
Mini aba mami.
Na bibia boko de.
Bibia boko.
Na yin fa na ojina esi
Yeah, no me wo YMCA. Bibia eye national executives no omo ba beto omo aba no.
So far no wo ho no. What can you report to the viewers of KANTANKA TV?
Mini aba ma say.
So far no, what can you report at YMCA?
Mini aba ma asema obisani na ene say ye NPP abatu a omo 20 na ye na ye wa ha. Na ensema metune aka ene say New Patriotic Party abatu a ende koso no enche na ye 2 o'clock abo ema impenifo akenkan eye imba adoa emdodoa impenifo etum eto ewo YMCA na YMCA ase no delegate ahowa ewo so mo beto ba ewo YMCA omododo ye 1137 na sisi amino kase ne de eyade emu be 1000 en boye kakra en omo etum ato aba no Oba YMCA ase ya edomo hapa omo polling centers no eya bien na obi be say national executive free kwa omo de hwan na omo abeto aba no ewo ase no omo ne eye chairman ahoro past executive polling executive party executive and afe eye impenifo ahoro na omo bo ohumode omo wa ban mu no omo ene kan wo bo ma omo pre omo eye national executive sa o so omo beto aba ewo YMCA na mpempen ya de bebia ye to aba omo pre YMCA ade e ben eye psychiatric hospital no and afe bridge side no esan so ene eye ECG edi nhwe nti e side na national executive for omo aba no e koso na sisi amino ka say ni de eya asomdwe kwan so ankwambo hu nsem de eyade a e koso Basabasa ya na se pinchen bia NC. Ya wa twenye mu ase 2 o'clock ebebo. Na mpenifo akenkan mba ne hu se asimesi a na obetin na edi nkunim ewo eye YMCA ase na ye hu nye besi mbra wabo no ewo eye stadium. Na mpenifo huro mepie mu ewo ha ne ni bi mu twehwe nkomo. Ebit so ni amfore anka no odejuma ewo kokobo outside so ye government official dey send me to Japan na ye oche mu say sisi ane de omu ntumi nkyerese party nipa asinesi ana so obintin no bedi nkunim na mbom amyekuo no aye krado say onipa ko a endenta no nan embo obedi nkunim ne de eya de omu nyina ebebo sire atai onipa nechi enkoba ne se menti ase ana se wo se ye kokota na se sisi ane de money na ne de eyade ampenifo mu say oma ye ka say nipa se mesi an obenten so tum edi nkunim ewo brabo no na ende ewo stadium de ni de omu na be ye crowd no ma bohwe edi nechi tum ne be ma bisa dia be pie mo ewo YMCA adia asomdwe kwan so abato no ekoso sisi ampenifo ahodo no mbeto na bebe na ato eko omo hwe center 2 o'clock ne de na omo close eye election no ma start akan ne ehu omo omudi
Mami esi mami bisa obi mo. Hello mami esi.
Nini oba mami tie o.
De tie ne se abato ekosi amanfo bi ka se sikache ekoso na wo YMCA no wahu se obi cheska na
sa minua atma obi say dia wo mo pa wo bepie mo e wo YMCA say dia se openi bi ba no obu ho ma kuma o party ba monje kakranto nsu na pa mo de mo kukunsa ka ne niama ina ahodin begu ha no ma bo mo nse mo behwe sa abato ne beto na hwemdwe kwan so na ye yi mampani a obeboa ma ye yi eye okendifo obeboa ma ko ne edinkunim nti ebu ho ma kakaka no de ama eye delegate ahoro mo wo tension no na se sikache se meni tia se ya sikache je sike na koto mo bentia na asase mesite mi hu bi na mo mpenifo ahoro no oba no so mo kwa na nsu sika bi no mo de ama omo ten omonje sa pepepe na ekoso e wo ha ba se ana se omo che sika se je koto ma ken je koto ma de ni mo de koto ma ba omi ana se je koto ma Dr. Fu ya koto ne do mi hu bi kra e wo ha se
Messi finally no o share security issues are obetimi aka se asumdwi e wo YMCA ana
sa YMCA ha de sia ne de ahobabom nsem no ekoso sisi ana mpetwa horo na ato wa ba na wo kwane de ye hu se asrani obi enya eyentawantawa na mbom ye se mbra wo kan eno na ebia bi betum efima abade na mbom sisi ane de asrafo no kra bebre na omo edwuma mo ye no hu se bibia ba feminto bibia adwena ho nkakanka de atwen se 2 o'clock bobo no mu nyina sorry akoboban sani aba anu mbeken kan na asumdwe kwan so na omo aboni odi nkunim anaso odi nkuku e wo YMCA ase
si medals pa se ma esa report yi akobon show
medals
yo etifo mote yenu aba wo YMCA a wo hwese abato na ekoso na report so dia bre e wo Kantanka TV enche ebe komadina constituency akofa adwa denta enya ntiyese sikache bi ekoso wo ho boni be say inducements for people to vote for some candidates enya adwa denta ebe komadina hello adwa denta Bajo Otebenka. Adwa Otebenka.
Neto nkapa.
Eya ntiese Madina constituency no sikache bi ekoso is alleged. Una ojina ho can you report?
Okay. Sene na je twa ho so ni e de tira mo no. Tire na obi esa ba ya waka se wo mo no. Empanifo ni o tena ase na wo ye hwehwe. Se wo mo ekoto abana. Omo transport de emo wo mo na so be si ne wo mo atoba na via wo mo ti ho no pani ba ko sika no ewo ne ho no ya de a wa bi sika na ye firim ke se wo baaye na ka to wa be che na so be ye dada kra bia o de be fa wa ene wa transfer ye firim ko sha ama ko wa ha no mo fa de na je nya oba na wa de aso mi ti ga na so sen ye nema akọ no ase ti se da kra bi ya banti no wo mo ache no e de firim tenti you said your mother chose to our hand more one child when you come on. Politica no SM and Satia no be there they happen.
Adwa tiefo na hwefo ti almost answer show. Penyin ben obe cheska no cheska no so in the name of which particular candidate?
Where Madina delegate no one more Madina ne nkonke to den bono ke to den wo mu ina de hia mu ha no na woman na ye me kasa wo tu just say wo mu sika no aka mu no wono so e wo Madina ha mu ye bi na ne nsem ni na no e ko pase me no o mu tu fa ni bi no entuka ene ni bibre no nanso ade a wa ye no se ne ye no ka ade fa fa me mu ma ye ma fo be tie fo ne be fo ate no o wo fie kra na ni be ena na so beti ene so mo de kokobo and the man the bia so dia so betumi be mu e wo Madina be so mpesi aso na sika na empani for the same and san wo tumi abete e mo bia de ne dia foka a dia ko fie
Adwa denta dem pesa me hu ne se sika no ye de mom so mo de mfa ka enko back ana se ye de mom se omo ntoma candidate e ana candidate B
ni ntira ma wo boy no enye se dia ye de ma wo mo se wo mo fa ko fie kudi ne mom no sene otumi enya sika de fie e ba ye no me tira transport o do to ahyen ba ye Madina ba so mpesi aso manifoni o mo tena se e ka se obi aka anya ne ka ye mo we pie wa ha no mo se ya wo kwa ne we ba ni na de be sha won sa sene be ya won so no wunya emoka ene mo sika ye de ma pani ba ko a be fi ne wo mu ba bia wo sika no afa no
yo Adwa medase so ama esa report yi Madina constituency gina baby na eba ne skache dia na ebufu eyaba yedase papa your reporter Adwa denta Madina constituency na motene kano ye try discussion so studio alaji na wo ka about adanimo me peke nyema be miensa o say oye obi oye consistent
very consistent
oye team player he doesn't like noise.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
Good. Sebio obia ewo amanyo kumu na more importantly bia wakwa kudrone. I mean, we contested in 2012 meboa. And waba enti anya den kra no. Even bia contested for flag bearership awenya. Enti nanko wo hwe se ya be frɛ no kra ewa aban mu na nenim die ene sebio nanim onyam no de abata aban na afei nkoso anka memfan say na manyuku no epe no nanka yeah epeja because like you're saying we serial contester.
Yes.
You know, which means he believes say bibi wonu na enya den kra na you know na hokeka and so chere say at least was a development planner.
Yes.
You know, and I've heard some of his exposition, you know, a few times. You know, to Mr. Nema, you know, there's some consistency. You know, me being, you know, the project consultant that I am, to understand. And why very consistent. Now, rather unfortunately, no. Me fancy we nya akwenyano ama bemu. And more importantly, no can say even ulusu ye no so no or why, you know, in terms of campaign and a whole lot of things. What you say. Now, even with that, you know, we be sans or a bit also when you bit. What I say, you yaw be any if I say, a say a friend and I see a friend. You know, for me, these are clear signs of leadership.
Okay.
What I say, the ultimate say, will you be a bit me boa ama would di amanyuku na ni munyam so.
Okay.
Very, very important. And nidom so swa say bi onko be di omo animu no because look, maintaining the dignity of your followers is very important.
Yes.
Because as a leader, and bibi obia no exposes your following. And that's very, very important.
Okay.
And what can we up to this point? For me, you know, until I'm gonna say from afar, he meets most of the criteria of a leader. I'm say going forward, you know, whichever way I record result. You know, seriously, I want to see him in government. So, you know, I want to see him in government. Say, well, we knew. But send him you know, 4 contestants in Indiana. Ejina obia akwenya wonya memfa nse ne nsa atimia ahia na chitafo dodo no akwade se wato asaw agunsuo so enti enkawa na say yibi abeche no depends on how baby awoto asaw no ebeche fingerlings or whatever so enti
I mean twa no amanfo gidi se onim se ade no onwini per the permutations, no. Ekamako say it is a 2-horse race. The vice president, honorable in Japan.
Yes.
But I say people believe say obi or contest for a reason, but not win. And people place Adenimo in that contest.
I disagree.
How would you disagree?
I disagree.
Yeah.
So, enye kwa won win wonim so won win in walk.
Okay.
I think he wants to send some message.
Which is
a messenger a kire se sin to be a wo no. You know, he's showing a way say kwan we say so ena ka ebetimi asomoye. I think a commitment to his party, a commitment to his followers. I mean, I say the people. And and he say sikano okukutua as a candidate no obeko no onwini a ade no kwakoto sa na atwene. I mean, whatever it is no, you know, he may have had some supporters be omo aboa no amana kwakotua, you know, with the collectively zenka, you know, nkrofo no omo nam no nyina nim so we ko iska yakoto atwene a ka say ombeba. No, he believes in something.
okay.
So but say them sika no, all the 4 candidates, they all believe, I mean, even 10, was it 10 or so? 11?
Yeah.
10 no. Everybody believes that they were going to win. Super delegates, up to the present will be, but and I can say, according to what was out, everybody has their capacity of determining, say, Hana me tuma sa no menya more fingerlings. So they say. And apart from that, naturally, a month for and say wahunya enti enebia obea kandini. Naturally.
Alaji me that's your reporter about
okay, me that's
Kwesi Botwe were called 2 constituencies. We Jagbawe constituency and Ablekuma North constituency in Tebefano. Yeah, share the Okachre. Hello, Kwesi Botwe.
Okay, well.
But what me can?
I don't cover.
Sisi ya ujina hifa noni yeka say.
Sisi ya nijina headquarters, but ansana meko headquarters no. Nema jinka ako. We Jagbawe constituency. Ene Ablekuma North constituency.
Sisi ya engineer we Jagbawe constituency. Oko hono.
Yeah.
What can you report from we Jagbawe constituency? Then on who ye with respect to the electorate or to abano delegate for no EC officials and so now can security for no so what can you report to KANTANKA TV?
Yeah, the call we Jagbawe constituency no senior about nhihye no etiene NPP for about nhihye no etiene no anopa no mi kodu wo mo na abo anopa be se no hwe empe mo kobo no nkono na mra mi kodu hall mo no na mene eye wo ma wo mbeto aban delegate ndi mudidi nkomo no wo mo kyerese bibia koso fan wo mo afemu but na be pese mi hu se agent no wo mo nyina wo na wo mo se an agent ko nyina wo but ade ba kwa na ha aden wo Jagbawe constituency de say by mo for ho mo na mi wo ha kakra wo mo sense na nsendro bo ne pese ye ne electoral commission for no Indian commodity who said you made in but for no and when you do when how my young say electoral commission for be doing but no the biggest woman to about one delegate no one comport ye fa it's as the we are now about one air corner one yes sir. Problem aginyano woka kraye eye ban mofo na no wo mo pese ye ne eye about to commission ebedi nkomodi ye hunia eko in terms of asumbi mu no fine and na bambo mu no fine but no how are you want bambo mu no and no say na bambo fo bi mu pese ye ne about to commission ebedi nkomo if you wo mu na me de me kire
look Kwesi Botwe
able yes sir
reasons being a security for on demand some money easy for the nkomo all the reasons that they gave Bamofo asama wo mka na say once you free about to national year for abalede wo mo pese ye electoral commission for no ebedi nkomo edine mi bi say ne orga sa osusu say ye mo central no ko kan bi actually electoral commission for na say ye mo central for bi mu ye delegate tin wo mo pese ye ne wo mo bedi nkoma na also wo dey be no go by the instruction am say instruction ya dey ama on say si ye ba si ye ne komisa ni bedi nkoma am ye kwanya na but wo ya be instruction for ne bambo ne electoral commission for a party no e kudu be no ija ne sa ni empese gidi ne basa ye bi e be si e hall mo ba so good ni o kan ya ne say Woma started about to no all person ye ni obi e bedi nkomo eno ni asema o kan ye enti mi fi wo mo na mi de ni kire anya so tu Ablekuma North constituency enti Ablekuma North constituency me ko no about to commission no e ka kire me say everything anopa mi sia mpa ma wo mo started about to no o si bibia e koso wa no but enipa o hwe ni me say wo me tu aba beto aba no ye 1,400 delegates and then no more and him say we meet me about the talk about Ablekuma North constituency and one of the airport here one more to about a year salary school or odoko your friend saying odoko importing all of them and it's what we need salary school say odoko Groliland no do any official town so school na or about school or government school na woman or to saban I was not by mono 100%. By Mofono and central food in Como ye. I don't say by Mofono or Moshi the way
nsɛmtwerɛfo ye dwuma ɛne kwanya yɛ fa so a yɛne wɔn so idi nkutaho na ne wo sɛ bammɔfo no abɔ mo hoden papa wɔ ɛyɛ abritmanof abato mpɛso so ejema bammɔfo kura ka sɛ nsɛmtwerɛfo no ifi ene kono sɛnea yedi nkɔmɔ no yɛma ɛno no ɛnwɔ wasa kuhyehyɛ yɛbɛkɔ general election 2024 no ne yɛsi yo yate eti wohwɛ the overview of Anyaso Tune Bawi, Weja Bawi, any Ablegmanov constituency. Let us say about you in the course one, no one will say, but I want to air course really. But or how are you one Weja Bawi, and a year between Yemos and Joe be money, a police phone, and 10 annual more about your commission, and the Casa, and that's the enemy, a bidding committee. Agrable, who is Abia and Yamama, a year. KANTANKA TV ahwɛfo any activefoɔ ɛwɔ Wejagbawe any Abelkmanov constituency no.
Visible to your ase. Somewhere a report from Wejagbawe in Abelkma North constituency. Nyame shira wo yipa.
All right.
Remember some of the comments from our live stream. We're free Goslav Owusu. Or say no Ghanaian in US says Trump mess up US. I mean the US to be precise. Americans want Trump back so badly, and he will win this coming election. And so we can do so. We Goslav Owusu. Did they say Ken? Bet me again. Yes, as Americans want Trump back. Yo, Roda Nyaji wa hasi. Ya wakwabana Budu Lati. And also say Ken is going to win according to what I saw in my dream. I am not an advocate for anyone. Who God chooses is whom we shall accept. Let there be peace. We also free Kwabana Budu Lati. And also Ken be winning sense also Honda. Many we know Alaji, just in 1 minute. What are the chances of Adenimo in this election?
Oh well, just like we all agree, you know, Adenimo the chance, you know, of winning, no, and the prospects are good enough. You know, but you know, or good message when your platform, you know, near one moon so I can't re a month for but in fact and so followers and also. I mean that is my contribution.
But that's it. I mean call Roda ho. Make kind message na ninya pa. Roda now also share the chances of Adenimo. Do you think he can do anything in these elections?
Let me just say that before Mecca, in 1969 elections, presidential elections, my father took part. He was a businessman. He didn't make it, so I'd want a businessman to make it.
Okay. Very personal.
It's a personal reasons. Adenimo, I from afar, I admire him for his resilience, you know, and his patience and everything. And I keep saying that probably it wouldn't be a bad thing if candidates, the delegates, decided to give Ghana a tsunami. And then at the end of the day, Yabeka said, Adenimo has taken it.
Is it possible?
I'm just saying I wish. Okay. So that, because he looks like the unifying candidate here.
Okay.
So Wusha. But, I think that he's been very consistent. He has come across as somebody who is very level-headed, you know, and very passionate about the NPP. Obianka Wejai, if you listen to all the things are waka. So baby Kraka say, yeah, man, if he should have been bitter, not like other people are saying that they're bitter and stuff. In Adenimo, I think that he just wants to send a certain message that he's not telling us, but I'm sure one day he will tell us why he has become a serial contender for Wayne. And you know, Yebejano. But I also believe, say, enyo bia na ya born so beye o mampenin. And at one stage, no, so who say, ebia, whatever he has to offer, no, the party must be able to get that from him. Say, Papa wo in his vision be, yes. So we should be able to tap it from him. Instead, say debia ni ebeja no na, he's still fighting on with this idea of I have something in me that I want to share with Ghanaians. He's doing it. I think it's from 2012. You said he's been contesting. Yeah, and Nanado did it for how many times before he got it? So it's possible. So one day his turn will come. But for now, no. I think that he's just going to be counted as one of Nkrofo Awomo take parts.
Let me push you to the wall a bit.
Yeah.
So what chance of tuning for maybe as a friend, as a sister? Only time to pull the brakes.
Yes. Baby, when you do know, I think that so our BB or vision be and say BB or person or yeah on share now on groom you be. You mentor somebody and let that person buy into his vision. Wow, it will help. But to continuously put yourself through, because going through this process, and having to travel around the country, talk to people, and all the expenses that are involved, and at the end of the day, you don't make it. You understand? And so if I could ask him, I would just say, look, you've played your part. You've done what Napoleon could not do. So just let it be. Just let it be.
Mampenibia on a vision. The visions of every president be an offer amount for it may be Juma. I want to chip this in. Do you think the party NPP have not been fair to Ada anymore? As I said, party we need 2 terms after Kofo. From 2016 Edeba to 2025. They are coming to end their term. Do you think they could have appointed him as a minister and a board chair bimpo to be able to bring to bear the kind of thing he said he has? He might not be president, so to speak. But if there is something in him as an individual, do you think the president, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and by extension the party, was not fair to him by not bringing him on board, Anna?
I wouldn't say so.
Okay.
Every president has something, a vision, and will work with people who buy into that vision. So maybe he just doesn't cut into the president's vision, yes. And we shouldn't pretend to be ostriches. At the end of the day, we know how the game is played. If you are not in my group or my team, you don't come in. And probably that's where he finds himself.
Last question before we move on to the next person. We have said over the years, me, for example, I don't believe in the winner takes all policy. Say we demand Mampenia or appoint your more, say they pay myself, so to speak. Because there are people who can work. In President Kufuor's first term, of a PNC member to be a sports minister, things happened and he left. Don't you think it's about time? I was here share the national agenda. Nimpani betimi yempona say onene enye so much of a friend. Now the work can be done. We should think about that. Than to think say because you are not my friend, Intino, memfoul, and I'll pick those who are my friends. And sometimes the job is not done. Rhoda.
You're beginning to speak like a butterfly.
I'm a human being, not a butterfly.
yeah. Human being, not a butterfly. Yes. This is a butterfly concept.
Okay, I see.
Yes.
Hearing this for the first time. Don't be saying.
Me dream was say, ne papa mano no say, Sankaibe ya ina Ghana for. Winner takes all. No, it is one of the things. I'm a member of the national interest movements. Okay. And that is one of our main cardinal issues. Says, "Sir, winner takes all." No, was ye film. Say, obi to me ye jumana. Why not? You know, people did not understand. I'll just go back a bit. People didn't understand Kwame Nkrumah's one-party state. After being frustrated because he couldn't get anybody to work with, because they belonged to the UP, he said, "Okay, we are all one party. We are all one. TPP, just one party, so that you can come and work for me and work for Ghana." I don't know if you are getting me.
I get you.
He tried. It was UP, it was CPP. In a situation where UP members would have to ask permission from their leaders to be able to serve Mother Ghana. And somehow, some of them were not able to. So the only thing left for him was to say, okay, it's a one-party state. So that is how it is. But it shouldn't go that far to do those extremes. Say, Obi ewo NDC mu and CPP mu or whatever and can do the job or even not belonging to a political party, but it's good. The person should. It's not all of us who are political animals. We should be able to say that Sani Pay is good. Yamfanim Rim. You know, but we don't do that. And no, and I'm say no, Bibian Kosono. Because say yeah elections are. I didn't know when you any tension about Chronimo. It's a question of NDC and the NDC for one for 8 years. Say Nyamia Doma. NPP for bedi and the NPP for na ya was CPP na ya ya na me hen. You understand?
Yeah.
So as a country we must begin to speak against Sanyamano. Say we are all one. What ba would ye give it to the right people? We just want Senebeya input your beba. Ama ye nyina ye ho atoyen. And nyansan so eni nipa ba kuchimu. Until was say to me Emma a binomon so enya chance. Like you are saying, Adanimo is a fine gentleman. Any sanka ye don't know twin chain. But here he is, our baby. You find people being given positions. Next time they so once he said that he didn't fall into place with our vision, you know, uniform. It's not right. But that is for us, you know.
That was it for this wonderful submission. Let's answer it's a true of mine. Which is true of mine, and I say the people in the country must enjoy the benefits of our mighty children.
Exactly.
In the party if we nya and to be an undone party in your bedding. That is the problem. You may sound about so you share Dr. Efriye Akoto or saying. Now, as a historian myself, no, my name is Papa, a year back for Akoto, lead the National Liberation Movement NLM, Matime Hofon, during the CPP time. And he has a rich history backing him up. Anna Ofri, a region so more or less the backbone of the New Patriotic Party, the Ashanti region. You share a brief history about this particular person. He was born on 19th October 1949, a Ghanaian agricultural economist and a politician. He is a member of the New Patriotic Party and was an MP for the Kwadaso constituency from 2009 to 2017. He was a cabinet minister in Nanado's administration and served as a Minister for Food and Agriculture of Ghana. He resigned on 10 January 2023 to focus on his presidential ambition. He holds an NMC, MSc, and PhD degree in agricultural economics from University of Cambridge, England. Osha ne career life and so on. Or you'll be a sebi, Rebecca say, or Bob Brayipa, is answer, the working life is very rich. You see, Efriye Akoto was employed by the International Coffee Organization in London, England, for more than a decade, more than 10 years. Among the positions he held include economist, senior economics, principal economist, and chief economic advisor. He served as a consultant to World Bank on soft commodities, namely cocoa, coffee, and sugar. After working for 18 years abroad, he returned to Ghana, where from 1995 to 2008, he served as the CEO of Gold Crest Commodities Limited and Plantation Resources. Oyobia, I respect him so much. As I say, I believe in academia and those who are scholars. Quite recently, he said Obeserve as the Minister of Agric. Say a share planting for food and jobs program now. He led it. In as much as quite recently, Yakofa about DNA Banche called the ministry, I disagree. No, I believe he has served well. And he is putting himself up to contest in his party and eventually contest as president. Alaji, what are his chances? And secondly, what do you think he brings on board if given the nod, so let's serve as the leader of the NPP and eventually the president of the Republic of Ghana?
That's about a quick comment.
Okay.
About the euphoria for Trump coming back.
Okay.
The alternative that is not standing well.
Okay.
I mean, since you're other octogenarians or septuagenarians.
Okay.
I mean, Biden, you know, I mean, he has no attraction. So, but that's America.
Okay.
What I'm saying, but that's America for you. America, you know, remember say, they are all running around it. You know, what do you call it? They call themselves neocons. You have the neocons will never change. Okay. You only need a leader, and nothing changes in America. Okay. Then you also talked about winner takes all. Winner takes all issue a purely governance architecture, but it's dictated by the Constitution. I think we have not had leadership to drive it. That is all. You need leadership to drive it.
As in changing some aspects in the Constitution.
The architecture, that participatory democracy, we've never achieved it. Article 35(6)(d) is clear on this. Okay. And it's like the sender-messenger relationship. You have no authority over them. That is the problem. Nanado ban and saying,
yeah. Nipa can say me, Dr. Frida Koto, but now by via or Kasa.
Okay.
And he will take the feed and see what he says.
But before that, I want to use the washroom.
And also, the share Koto.
That's the best. Within the premise, I said that a day and because private care, we are more, yes, 2 hours, 3 hours, now more. Well, who said that?
Why I am for you, I get Martina back to the and I just a few years after. But you are not so nice to the Yama was to send away. If you say a junior number from Alpha, I'm not sure any of you will not have someone put today. I have was standing in Namo, and you were not so far, and now that's my woman, and it's in a time out for you. And you see, yeah, for a corner, and you did a couple or Martina about this with the Bema is still broken. It didn't
Adwa denta na yete nenka e Madina constituency no. Na yeti alaji. Oka nyema be mienu miensa bi a I want to also touch on kakra. Ezan se ye hwe the winner takes all policy na aso Ghana aboa ya na. Ezan se alaji kan se NDC e wini a NDC nkwa ne nkrofo and went into government. Road and so kan aso ye hwe o mining kanko anase ye hwe o mining kanko. Ezan se for example NPP so wini a amanfo e be fa woni amanfo a o me NPP fo nko a enti e wo se ye hwe etumi sesa saade no de e kan ko se ni se o se enya national policy. Ezan se political parties will always be there, they will come and go. The US experience ni ade bi a e betimi nso aboa yen. Ezan se o hwe US a alagika say they have the structure. The establishment is there. Into kofa sebe obi a onye good mpo de ba, the structure is there. Untumi nko against the structure no. But yenya structure e betimi aboa nka Ghana ye national policy like I say okay between let's say 2025 to 2026 2030 crampo e pese ye ABC dia etumi boa because there is no national policy, there is no structure no obi aba no ye ne de na ma man enkoso no alaje beto aso alaje na woka say with America no there's a structure. It is said if let's say Trump quoted unquote misbehaves and as Biden is even falling down poor, they follow the structure. And so you must have that structure also in Ghana to the extent say when CPP comes, when an elephant turns into a butterfly comes, the policy and the system will run.
Yeah, but that's it. In the American system, it is not because Trump has an attraction and I said this one has an attraction. As a matter of fact, I'm only trying to prove a point. Say, if they wanted a business person, they would have given Trump a second term.
Okay.
But unfortunately, no. You had the Democrats, Biden and his people coming along. They say Kamala Harris, they are trying to put up the same candidacy. Just as they say, they are fed up. They can't keep a falling president every time. Okay. I don't know whether Kamala Harris is going to be, and also so intimate muscle. Yeah. That's the issue. And an American be just you're talking about the winner takes all.
Yes.
A application of the stipulations of the Constitution that leadership has missed most of the time.
And you break it down. Application of what? Stipulations of the policy.
The Constitution stipulates participatory democracy.
Okay.
Your FAPIMA, your 1992 Constitution is participatory democracy. So that's why we have decentralization.
Okay.
So you have the unit committee,
yes, rising
up to the assembly,
yeah,
and then to whatever.
Yeah.
Unfortunately today, electoral area, the unit committee people, you don't see them.
Yeah.
They are all stillborn, useless. In fact, there's nothing going on at the grassroots. But that is exactly what the Constitution sought to achieve. Participatory democracy. In the community, can you feel safe? You feel very safe. So say, assemblies, is farther away from the community than Jubilee House. Jubilee House is closer. Timpani, Bibia, Enukrano, Jubilee House is closer to you than your own assembly, even in Timpani. What I say, that is the problem. And as I say, the assembly men and women are detached from the communities. They've gone to the district assembly, and the MM. You understand? And that is fundamentally the problem. And if you're a leader, we don't have national value. We don't have any objectives that you pursue together because participatory democracy is lacking. And an American said, another ban and saying, we wanted even to adjust Article 55(3), okay, so that we'll elect MMDCs. Listen again. NDC and NPP want to decide for us the substance of this article. Which I say it shouldn't be partisan, it shouldn't be that. But is that the substance? The substance is not whether it's partisan or non-partisan. The substance is we will elect our MMDCs. That's all. That's the substance. Yeah. Because the sender-messenger relationship is poor. So, and no NAD, and unfortunately, not until it is not a constitution which is bad. But we need leadership to drive it. We need leadership to drive it.
Yes. We have spoken about the problem.
Yes.
I like what your kind say. Jubilee House in Poa. It is close to people.
It's closer to every community
than even
than your assembly. Yes.
Alaji, we have seen the problem. In brief, before we go to
yes.
What do you think can be done to right the wrongs? How can we correct it?
The leader is the leader. That's all. You need leader. You do have to infuse leadership into it. Look.
How do we infuse it?
Okay. Me show you.
Okay.
Nana Dubai. Say your constitution. We want progressively free education.
Yeah.
Tertiary. From secondary school to tertiary.
Yeah.
Yes, progressively. At least the constitution has given a direction.
Yeah.
Progressively, but Obayan, because he's imbued with that spirit, say he wants it now. No, he brought it.
Yes,
I'm telling you, whether we like it or not, you like him or not, there's access to second cycle education today. Obi anyone e ba wi our pass here, one forces or then go school, even though you still have to bear some burden.
Yes.
But at least access is there. I don't want to go into adversarial politics and the quality and what is quality. Yeah. But there's access.
Let's not go there.
And what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, you see, fundamentally, say a percent, this winner takes all, you know, state capture, any the winner takes all, no, we must strengthen the unit committee.
Okay.
Strengthen it, send it, make it functional. And that's what Mimi Party, we suggest Community Organization Bureau, COB. So,
as your party near them?
National Democratic Party, NDP.
Oh, okay.
NDP, yes.
We want this party.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, because virtually
we lost one member to NPP.
Oh,
you know him?
It's another story.
Okay, thank you.
Another story. It's another story. It's another story. No, it's another story. Don't worry. I don't want to go there.
Sure.
So, and in the American say, fundamentally leadership driving and infusing, you know, the energy into the constitution and making it work.
Sure.
Look, 3560 a key, you know, to this issue I reckon. But you need leadership to drive the constitution, not the constitution to drive leadership.
Okay.
No.
I like that.
Yambra. Yes.
We are Papa Penny.
Yes.
You're the Joanne Bro.
Yes.
And in Quina. And in Namnina. A woman say you're the Bro.
Yes.
But I was so who you see why drink. Say and Namnayam and Quine. My mini be my way. My mini be my way. But I say no moody.
Yes. Let me give you an example. Okay. I mean, Auditor General report year in, year out.
Yes.
You have organized labor at their workplaces, or mutiso financial infractions. Then you come around and ask pay rise.
Yeah.
What is that?
Nobody's punished.
So
we need
what is that?
Punishment.
And if there was participatory democracy, at least at the management level, you see, and now sometimes people don't understand. When the revolution started, you know, sometimes whether you like it or not, because it's an antecedent. There was a revolution. At the hierarchy, you have the lower ranks being part in management. Until they represent, I mean, they have what you call workers, I mean, CDRs and that kind of thing. They have representatives. If you are the boss and manager, you need the consent of those people.
Yes.
They are part, they know what is happening.
Yeah.
That's what I say. And you know, procurement and that kind of thing is amount for the infractions, and before the infractions are corrected, only heaven knows whether it's right or not. And quite recently, when we were going to IMF, they were talking about almost 17 billion Ghana cedis. So they are saying. And I blame organized labor. It is part of their duty to ensure that they requested it, even if leadership, I mean, does not allow it. You demand it. So they say, and you're part of it. And in another case, one, you know, winner take all that kind of thing. You know, you see, we are allowing the parties, once again, you know, sovereignty, we are the wielders of sovereignty, resides in the people.
Yes.
That's why we say power to the people. You know, the people themselves are not organized. And we can be organized through even organized labor.
Yeah.
And set an example.
So
they say,
where we have gotten to know,
yes.
Me said
yes.
Positive drifting.
Yes.
My member Rhoda Hall. My back to you.
Yes.
Allergic Sembi. I want us to deal with it head on and say atwaso. And you give a very good analogy. Say opinion. Igana be si honum. Enam daso. Gane so. I was say the thinking be say I must also feed my children. Rhoda, Ujin say Bibia Ghana econo. Has leadership broken down? Or has it failed Ghanaians?
Definitely leadership has failed Ghanaians.
And what?
You only need to walk around.
Okay.
You only need to talk to people. You come in as a leader to be able to drive the aspirations of everybody, for them to be able to achieve whatever they want to achieve. So once you come in to lead and people are complaining everywhere and people are, look, you just have to go to the airport to see how people are just leaving, droves are leaving this country. And you ask yourself, all the young, energetic people are leaving. Why? There's a breakdown in leadership. And that, for me, is very disturbing. You know, it's very... And we have to ask ourselves, why is it so? With all these resources available to us, beautiful sunshine, water bodies that are now no longer something to talk about, we still have people leaving to even places that don't have a quarter of what we have. Totally, leadership has broken down. And it's all because, it's the same. We don't have a national development plan. National development plan, one party comes and does it, and the next one comes and throws one away. You just throw it away and then bring another. You know, we waste our ecosystem no more. This is not where we are supposed to be. If we could tackle that waste. Because Obiaba, no way to schools, and then you come and leave them. Now in Mura Afan, we see hospitals, Mura Afa, everything. And then you start afresh. Why? Today, we share talk it where be a quine now say year of roads. And no one is being punished. It is a mechanic of Canada, Japan, so be punished. Young farmer na someone has to pay for it. But at the end of the day, no, nothing happens. You know, everybody is patronizing. Or ye mibusieni, or ye minria, or ye madamfo. So no one is being checked. Is that what governance is all about? No. You must be able to check the person. That's true. So when to me and full say another person can do it, kick that person out and bring somebody in. Simple. But for 7 years, I was just telling my help in the house. I said, you know, you have finished. That's what I'm saying. SHS. And no, Waba Mincheng. We sit as politicians, we sit as leaders, and we cook up things. And we think that MP, we cook. So you get somebody, or B3, English, so and so. Now the bro for bien no can bro for now. Now my convince hey Charlie. Bro for mentias. But okuta certificate I just say it was so. But at the end of the day, no, it is not what is the fact. So what is here? So if we cannot be honest with ourselves and we think that every time I said kataso, ya kataniamaso, we sit down dialysis and yajuma kolebu, but people feel that we should do branding. Nyasa be in a woman. Nyasa be nim. You understand? The same way, no, couldn't we have done something else with all those your friend is saying developments are yes katano yes. You understand? I ask myself, we pride ourselves. I'm from the north, and then I'm told that I have an international airport. And I ask myself, it's only used during Hajj. Hajj. So for the whole year, no, it's just local flights. And it's not that people don't know that Tamale Airport as a cargo terminal would have earned this country a lot more. You know. And given a lot more jobs to the people of the north. That's true. Because we are surrounded by a Sahel region that is landlocked. You can just imagine the kinds of agricultural produce to go through this cargo. But will we do it? No. Because it doesn't benefit somebody. Leadership, we need somebody who is going to just be a dedicated, selfless person. At the end of the day, we have practically lost touch with the grounds, lost touch with our own people. We are doing things that are not important. But yes, and it's not going to be easy anytime soon.
That's it. I think if you now KANTANKA, you are missing out a lot. I'm personally enjoying the conversation. As I said, we must drive country, no. Na enye leadership in Kwan. Well, Drit Kakrani said, aside leadership, no. Allergic power resides in the people. And see, if leadership is failing, there can be a positive legal mass action. Because the people reflect their leaders. As I said, Saman Fono, Emma leaders who say what is going isn't right. And we stand up for what is right. Leadership will shake. I don't support violence. I don't support coup d'etat. But sometimes, look at Bakavamawo, what he's doing. I think it's bringing some awakening to the leaders. Say the youth can wake up. And I believe, sir, what you have said is very positive. Leadership is everything. And when the people also sit down and relax, say, mampenyin beye, ministers beye, no mo nya. What are we also doing?
You see, that is what we call the governance architecture.
Okay.
The governance architecture. You have a building, you know, you have the foundation, you see the roof, but it's being supported somewhere. You know, it must have columns and so on and so forth. Until we don't have a governance architecture, it is wrong. Until not until that is built, we have a problem. Okay. And I'm saying, say, when anybody sits down and says that, you know, the constitution must be thrown overboard, it should be shredded, tell the person, sorry to say, they don't understand the constitution. Yes.
I'm a member of the National Interest Movement, and it's one of our 10 reform agenda things.
Yes.
We are not saying it should be thrown. We are saying that we should add in clauses that would at least...
But let me tell you, look, I mean, Professor Mills,
some checks and balances.
Professor Mills, before, when they were in opposition,
Constitutional review.
Before, there was a crick, isn't it? Constitutional review crick. Constitutional review, they made a lot of, what do you call it, copious, you know, proposals. Memphis say they've now gathered dust in the archives. And this is a law professor. Omuba, you know. Have you heard anything taken out of the Constitution?
No.
A obsession for political power. When they are out and they're seeking a turn, they think that it is a Constitution. But no, it's not a Constitution. Up to date, nothing has been done. And I want to hear your Constitution, so if you don't handle it, you will do an elitist revision. Elitist. Because all that they are talking about today, it is nothing to do with people's power. I'm telling you. I mean, now can say they want to revise. Let them tell me any single thing that they have done to reinforce people's power. Say there should be capping of Supreme Court judges. There should be this, there should be that. All that they roam around talking, it's all about judiciary, which is elitism. You talk, what do you call it?
How can the judiciary be elitism?
Most of it is elitist. I'm telling you. Most of it is elitist.
Do not have a free...
No, let me tell you. It's elitist. I will explain. This constitution has got regional tribunals. Regional tribunals. The two parties colluded and abolished it. So I say, and even there we have participatory democracy because we have the jury system, you know, that will stand and be there. I mean, what do you call it? Office of the, what do you call OSP? We will not need OSP.
Even that one is not working.
I'm telling you, we will not need OSP. If the regional tribunals were working. And the regional tribunals, you know, go to the judiciary. I mean, read provisions of the judiciary. It is still there.
I like a positive drift. No? I love it to pass because I'm saying, among 40 yes. Come back to the NPP.
I mean, the duopoly colluded and collapsed.
Yeah.
I mean, tell them.
Helped by us.
They ask. Let them tell you why they collapsed.
That's why I said that.
Yes.
Helped by us.
Yes.
We have the power. Those who are is for us. Those who are out of power are one of those who are in power. Until they come back to the November 4th presidential Dr. Free Yakutu, the agricultural man.
Dr. Free Yakutu, a fine academician. I mean, now once again you come to leadership. It's another matter. He had the best opportunity, seriously, in Agric. He had the best opportunity to be winning this election. But unfortunately, I think his attraction is low. So they say. And for me, I relate that to his understanding of governance and, for that matter, leadership. You know, by now, no. Dr. Free Yakutu should have used our Greek sector to ensure, say, you know, not joblessness, that kind of thing. No? You know, I mean, planting for foods and what?
And jobs.
And jobs. Yeah. He didn't achieve that. He didn't achieve that. And yes, you know, seriously, he had every chance to shine. But if he's still struggling today, you know, and I doubt that, you know, he's going to make it. But I mean, he's a fine brain. He's a fine brain, no doubt about it. But we're talking about leadership. You see, if you don't work hard and have that attraction for leadership, it's another matter. It's another American say. You see, it's a mystery. You know, leadership thing is a mystery. And if you have not got it, you know, Yes, sir. I mean, that's a simple thing I'll talk about.
Let's juxtapose.
Yes.
Nipa biya wo na hoden.
Yeah.
And then a weakness.
Yeah.
What does he bring on board? That's why you don't like hypothesizing, but going forward, no.
Yeah.
Oshe ne strength coming into this presidential primaries now. Then okra a very good onya no bit me.
No, as a matter of fact, Dr. Freya Kutu na make say his field as an agroeconomist,
yes,
makes him stand high.
Okay.
But chance onya ye no, he has not demonstrated, his ability to leverage it.
Okay.
I don't think he's been able to leverage it at all. One area enka usumuya nka galamsey will not come about. Honestly, galamsey will not come about. The incidence of it will be very low.
Minimal.
So, he's got a chance already, and we've not seen much of it. And I don't think he's got that leadership attraction now, watching him from afar.
Okay.
He talks well. He's got all the hypotheses about, application, this, that. But I don't think it manifested on the field. He's not been able to realize it on the field. You see, once again, dynamical say organization is very, very important.
Sure.
You see, you take every region has got its own vegetational and climatic conditions and cropping requirements. And beyond that, agro-business is also a large area. So if you go to the north, you're talking about Nkutokurani, your friend saying shea butter, that kind of thing. Have we been able to process this? Into for other agro processing, or what we call even cottage industry, and so on and so forth. I don't think he has done very well in cottage industry. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I would say my founder even did better. Nana Kunadu Rollins did better in cottage industry.
Okay.
Because Gary processing and that kind of thing at her own level, created a lot of income for, women, But that, with an agroeconomist should have well fitted into, one village, one factory concept. So what I say, there should have been, this convergence, of planting for food and jobs, and one village. Not one village, one dam.
One this is one factory.
One this one factory. One this one factory. For that kind of convergence, so to say, agro processing. Sometimes I sit down and say, look, even you're planting cry, it is time we converted into bread making. I've not seen it. I read on social media from time to time, potato being converted into bread.
Yeah.
So where you don't need flour. Ukraine, Russia thing comes, and then we are all jittery about flour not flowing in. But, we could have even used plantain chips. I sit down sometimes and say, look, it could be used in biscuitry. Yeah. We could have turned our plantain chips into nice biscuits. Okay. All that we need is flavor. You get some nice flavor, you convert them. Yam, niama, so that there's preservation, conservation of farm produce. And I bet you, we have entrepreneurial, what do you call it, grooming, and so on and so forth. Purposefully make sure, say, this thing is linked up to a tertiary education. And I've not seen any innovation. Because Saobanaka is a planting for food and jobs. Yeah. Now, fine, maybe there have been some inputs, there have been something. But if it goes into the usual traditional way, of your mom and your papa, what they do, then it's a problem. Because there should have been innovation to make sure, say, the innovation lifts up productivity. But unfortunately, I mean, sitting where I am, I've not seen it. Yeah. Because if it were so, would have seen our young graduates, flocking into those areas. Okay. As for Dr. Fiyakoto, that's it.
Yeah, but that's it. Rhoda,
yeah.
What's your allergy? Yeah, Dr. Fiyakoto, so his prospect, he's in the race. His strength is agriculture. And allergy can say the planting for food and jobs should have been in sync with 1D, 1F.
Very true.
What are his chances going into this election?
Oh, he just took part.
He just took part?
Yeah, he just took part.
Which means they won't make any impact there?
I don't think so. Age is not on his side.
Okay.
I mean, no credit that Ghanaians as we are today, we wouldn't want to try anyone in that 40s anymore. Because at the end of the day, we need some youthful people to handle this country. See, age is not on his side. Obedi, a Greek minister, I think that Dr. Fiyakoto was more of a theoretical person, on your hands-on, on your practical person per se, when it comes to that. His expertise, for me, looking at him and everything that he said, was he was more concerned about cocoa than other crops. And that is why he didn't make any mark. Because like Alhaji said, there's so many crops in Ghana we could have done so much with. And our industries would have been up and running, factories would have come up. Cassava alone is one. So apart from ethanol, apart from the pastries, we had garina that we could turn into bread, biscuits, pastries, anything. What said Metehana Medria in the north? I mean, let's face it, we say food basket. Yeah. But now they don't even have any food.
They don't have any food?
No. Because groundnuts mills, Nanka, they grew a lot of groundnuts and they had all these groundnut oil coming. These days it's not there. It's just small scale. Then we had cotton to feed our textile industry. And everything is coming from China. Not even cotton anymore. Yeah. And then if we look at our rice mills, Dr. Fiyakoto made people to plant rice. And at the end of the day, they were actually gifting out guinea fowls for people to come and buy the rice, paddy rice, because there was nowhere to thrash the rice, to mill it. What he had no clue. He had no clue about that agric sector. Seeds. Today we have lost almost all our seeds. Every other seed that we are having is either GMO or a seed that is not fit for one-time cropping. What you say? And so Fiyakoto failed in that aspect. And if you've been given just one ministry and you couldn't handle it, how can you handle the whole country? It's not going to be possible. Yeah. You understand? What I had for him when he went into this context was that, one, yes, he's from the old stock. Yeah. And so if there was going to be any talk of Buzia Dankwa Domo, it should have been him. His father's name should have been there because they were the people.
Yeah, the NLM days.
The LLM days. So I always felt that if there's anyone who can lay claim to this, it's not the Dumbo or the Dankwa or the Buzia, but it's the NLM.
Okay.
What you say? So that is what he had. It's past glories, I should say. But he shouldn't have come into this race at all. He should have been at the background, supporting somebody, and especially grooming up people. What you say? So if Dr. Fiyakoto, I'm sorry, this is not his game. I don't think this is his game. But having said that, he's coming from the region that gives the NPP its votes. So one would definitely expect that he might be counting on the votes from them. But I'm very sure they are also looking at age.
Yeah.
When you see, so it's going to be very difficult. Honestly, as it is now, we can only hope that he will go back and look through his books and probably write some historical books for us.
Rhoda, on for here, on for Suti. We be misconceived. Do you believe, sir, it's about time? What kind about age? Say back order, meaning the order no. Also say better. Do you think it's about time Africa and narrowing down to Ghana? Omunya GD or young people in leadership at the highest level now?
I think so. Young people are doing great things these days. Young people are beginning to exert themselves. And you know, we have to give them the opportunity, what I said, to also show what they have. Because look, it's technology.
Yes.
And then what ministries are? Pennyphone bit to her, one tete one age so no. Or bit to her computer is in him. On him dead, our computer and so. But your
salary.
But your salary. On to me, you see computer no and your research be or banner or ten or none, then or better technician. Yeah, but you understand?
Yes.
Why do we punish ourselves? Me, I tell people, I said, I'm born BBC, born before computer.
Yeah.
So if I have to learn, you understand?
Yes.
Yeah, BBC. So if I go somewhere and I'm not able to, I admit it's mean to me, yeah. And it is time for we are not saying that being old is bad.
Yeah.
You understand? But there comes a time that we have to give way for new, innovative ideas. I beba. Look, we share Ghana for young people. Ejuma womo yeah. Look at the service industries.
Sure.
Young people. We share real estate. Young people. They're all beginning to go into those places. What you here. So why should we continue to bring them and they sit at home and then the old ones are sitting there and not able to do anything? So when I'm talking age, it doesn't mean that being old is bad.
Okay. We all grow.
Yes, we'll all grow.
That's true.
But there comes a time when you have to listen to your body and tell yourself that, no, it's time for me to take a back seat. I was saying, younger people, no, you know, that is the whole, that's what I'm saying. Say, Meshe, he's born 1949. Let's just say, we're clocking 70 plus.
So about 2 times, our Beko almost towards 80.
80. And we don't want that. They shouldn't. We should be looking at them with reverence. We look at them and remember them, what they did for us, you know, in the past. But then not to look at them as a burden, because you become a burden to your country. And we have Africa, we share old people now. Some are being held near what does it do? It doesn't augur well for the state. Nipa Bebre are suffering because some people just want to be there, knowing very well, say, Waswesi, want to ask them, went to mean 90 years, what's it changing now? Just because you have the ability. And try ye. And you know, going forward, I am challenging Ghanaian young men and women. I'm surprised that this NPP thing, there was no woman. Because we have such great women. Aslowusunumune, one, all in the NPP.
And the chief of staff herself.
Chief of staff. Oh, chief of staff is also in the age, you know.
You don't pay advance in age for the crowd.
No, I mean, let's face it. I mean, me young myself. Okay. But I just feel like let's give the young people to an opportunity, because we've let them down. Yeah. We have let them down. And they are talking about it all the time, but we don't seem to be listening. Yeah. So it's about time someone stood up for them, say, let's give them an opportunity. Let's see what they can also do. Because we've let them down. I don't also know the resources are being depleted, and they are now going to come up. We are taking loans on their behalf. And we are not giving them the opportunity to come in and work and recoup those monies. How do we manage a country like that? And you know, chief of staff and so on, why build?
We have MP for Dom Kwabenyatu is there.
MP Adjasafo. We have so many great women.
Deputy Finance Minister.
One more. All the young people. One more there. Frida Prempenum. Just try. Yeah. After all, some women have made it. Why not? So be and try. And I want to chip in a few things. So, young people must be given the chance. Now, so the attorneys say, young people, so they prepare themselves for those kind of positions. As I say, you know, leadership is no joke. Allergic. Driving everything is leadership. So when there is leadership failure, nature say everything will go down. But the thing is that our young people also developing themselves intellectually,
are they preparing and doing things that's a chance and a bad they can take it up and another thing. That is why at the point in time, sometime I came here and because it's as if the country is no more safe for young people. Not that since there is war, but people are thinking about what is in the future holds for them.
That's true.
You go to the airport, they're all leaving. You can't stop them. You can't say they should stay here. If they stay here, what is there for them to do? There's nothing here for them to do. To be in the early 20s, early 30s, the future looks bleak. They will move out and go and work. And the fact is that we must engage in a lot of mentorship. I don't see it normally in Africa. Personally, I follow some MPs around, and you will see that at a point in time, they feel as if you are even a threat to them.
Exactly.
And they put things in place for you to prevent.
They put impediments in your way, and they are ready to hand out.
Those things are there.
It's handouts they want to give to you. Those things are there. You should resist it.
What I would say is that the young people must be empowered. You see, old people got their chance to make mistakes as well. When you see an old person who is a minister, all started on, you didn't get it, all rosy. And I think that I agree perfectly with you, but young people must build themselves in readiness for those things. Young call the last person, so not last but not least, not in any
but let me chip in quickly.
Okay, quickly, just in a minute.
You see, sometimes we engage in wishful thinking.
Wishful thinking?
Wishful thinking.
Okay. Why do you say so?
Which will not work. You see, we wish, say, young people must take over.
Yes.
When you have not created the conditions, the objective conditions must work so that it nurtures young people.
But that's what we are saying. They should be given an opportunity.
But for now, the system does not allow it.
But they should.
So for how long will we wait for the system to allow it? Let me come in again. You see,
the system is not allowing it.
Giving people the opportunity to actually lead.
Yes.
Old people make mistakes. Young ones make mistakes. When will the time be right?
Let me come again. I've told you, if they do not participate in governance, how will they be nurtured? They will not be nurtured.
Oh, but a lot of them are coming to
no, they are coming
availing themselves.
No, they will avail themselves, but you see, it's the same crack. They will come into the same crack. It doesn't work.
Look at the NPP, their secretary, relatively younger.
Yes.
Look at NDC. We have young people, Sami Jenfi. They are there.
But do you know what it means?
What does it mean?
They are only coming at the hierarchy. The team must be built from the ground.
I think this is...
But I think NDC is coming out of that cocoon, of not having enough.
Yes.
Their people are educating themselves more these days.
People are going to
time
law
gone.
And those
Time gone. We used to think that they were there, down there. But now they're up there as well.
But when we are talking about grassroots, we are not saying that you are not educated.
No, what I'm trying to say is that with that education will come a richer young group.
The issue is that, look, fundamentally, the community should be run.
Okay.
That's why local governance is so important. Now, local governance is useless at the moment. It's not working.
Well, for the sake of time, share the final person on the radar.
Okay.
We have Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. He's in the race. He's a current vice president of Ghana and a whole lot. Let's take his profile. Then we look at him, his chances, and what he brings to bear. So to me, we need the primaries of the New Patriotic Party. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is an economist. We all know that. A banker and the vice president of Ghana. He was deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana till his nomination as vice president candidate for the NPP in 2008. He also ran as vice president candidate for the NPP in the 2012 general elections and was the lead witness for the petition in 2012-2013 presidential petition, which challenged the declaration of John Mahama as winner of 2012 presidential elections. He is married to Samira Bawumia, and they have 4 children. His birth, we can look at that. He is from the northern part of the country, and we know that currently he is the head of the EMT, the Economic Management Team. And also we know that Olidi, the NPP, before even they came into government, several lectures that he did, and a whole lot. And he came to the limelight so much so well after 2013 petition. No? I would say, before 2013 and even 2008, he was on the quiet, working in the Bank of Ghana. And we can say, he has also risen through the ranks, considering the fact, becoming vice president, he has been vocal on economic issues. This I'll begin with Rhoda. Many people have tipped him to be the victor or the winner in this primaries. Among force who did say, or the establishment candidate. Pina Kase Omampeni, several government appointees Tanichi. And so this is going to be a walk in the park for him. Pina so Kase Oshe, the time he became the vice president, the economic indicators at that time, and now it has gone down. Despite the fact most people believe he may be able to win, what do you think will be the minuses of Dr. Bawumia? Let's take this scenario. We're winning in this primaries, going into the next elections in 2024. What will be his minuses going into the elections?
Well, he's going to be campaigning against the legacy of the president.
Okay.
And if there's anything to go by, I don't think that is a very good legacy.
Okay.
And he's going to have a very tough time. He's the one person who was very vocal about the economy. And somehow it has bounced back on him. Every single word that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia said negatively against John Mahama has bounced back on him. $1 today is 12 cedis. The price of kenke is 5 cedis, from 1 cedi, 50 pesos and 1 cedi. The cost of electricity, of utilities, water, fuel, all has gone up. These were things that he said he could
fix.
He could fix. Today, you cannot look at Ghana having gone to IMF. That was one of the major things. We will not go to IMF because he was such a guru, a fix-it-all. He will do everything. We've been to IMF. We're almost going HIPIC again. So I don't know what legacy he's going to be using to lure Ghanaians to believe in him and vote for him again. And Mefia, and Yamo Kainina say John Mahama and the NDC were going to me on your bar, obey to me, Nina Asane Chibium, the same thing. I always could a chain titano. And to say, no, me name baby, and some of the quack, I catch up Ghana for Ama Womania, Judia Wanimu Ato Abanaman. Now, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and quite a fine gentleman, by himself, as a person, or a fine gentleman, but he's part of this government. And if he has anything, I'll bet me Abua Manana Adudankwa Akufo-Addo president. Ama Ghana esiye bioma onfamboano this last 1 year now one. So that ye nyina no ye hu se waya ade a ebia 2028 obetimi asan aba na ya consider no. But want to make nka say wo ba abra wote government mu a government no ama Ghana akofom say it is not right morally no enye right. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia on Kasa, where he has to open his mouth and talk. I don't see him. People see him as a unifier. I don't see him as a unifier. I don't see him as a unifier because Metehano, a few days ago, Mikrum, Yakobo Wamo. Garutimpani, yes. Yakobo Wamo. People sleeping innocently in their rooms. If you for come, when you have a crowd of Fimoja, as I'm talking right now. Bokuna tete kono de bia ye bonidin omba out mbe kan sam say bia mukose ana say o menu anu monjai ne o ma ne say waka na nu atum na waka wanu atum kire say won pese wo beka bi wo de wo pese papa no woka but eba ne say onipa na wo mo wo ho no wo so be ka wo mo ka Ghana ho Upper East wo mo ka Ghana ho
okay
anye bi kra no so traditional area ye wo 6 constituencies and ne campaign groups no so as for wo but ontumi nka hwe eno no me di ne ho yawo nti se metena na me say me person ye president I'll be lying. I will be lying. I mean, I am a very truthful person.
Oh, call it personal, and I say.
No, me call it personal because obey me man penny.
Okay.
It's in your beya ebe buano. Me tina a china me sha. Only moame.
Okay.
What I say? Only moame. Only more other people. Yamin kwa. Only more other people. Only more going to phone now. One got an microphone because you know, there's so much, and he has not said anything. He hasn't said anything. Like I said,
Brother, wait, I mean, no. I'm a summon for they have finished voting out to Abanavie. Until Ebefa, Ama Asantua, then I share their course with Ama Saman. So, almost 2 years, no, one AD kind, one son at Sebe, going to be a monomoding. Until Ama Santua, Temenka.
If I try me to
Ama Saman, saying, I'm what to Abanavie.
Mesama makwaba bi maba amasamai na send ye nani enim no animonyam 4 and 9 hine Japan Kennedy and afensu mampani abedi ache Dr. Mahmoud Baumia Dr. Afiye Akoto and afensu adenimo na amasama send abato ni hyase ye ha no nso na empanifo kire se no mienu money de ne chese omo de eya abato ni mpempenso ni na abanawie ye ampa no mienu ebo ya ne chese omo twa abato nti sabe de eya de a wo mo kind ye wo ha say bekwa ye ni ehun ye wafa empinje ni akọ abatuo mpehia ni so bebre na hono kwa wotimi fu bi omanfo no epese wofa ye obedi amanyoko na ni wa fimpinu na bienu na yabatu na so bedru amasamai ha sane ne ma ko ntimi enka se edom no etawe ye chi anase mpo edom no etawe ye chi tikopim se empanifo ne ko kan abana wie no ena ye behu esa se ya wo ha de ania tutom e de asososo atutu foma hwese ye behu de edom na wo amasamai no epa na so ye hu yo se ye kompasua so obi e hu se ye panipo so meti anase se ye pobenten na amasamai ha ye gina mpempen ya do mugusua e kan aba no eni tikopim se wo mo be kan aba no ne ye hu opani a amasama wo pese afimpinu na bienu na ya bato no di osukoko kwama nyoko nanim no ye da so wo ha wo mo kan na wo hwe se ne niam ekọ e wo ha bibia edadi efi no so ne bepem no bienu de bibia ekọ din abasabasa ya na penchen bia amani mu so e wo ha na hwe se ne agent ne so wo mani abra wo mani eku se ne papers no mo kan ba enye fadi abro kra enti ekọ so a e de mani adi adwuma de na chi na onipa obedi nkunim so e wo ha na bato ne be kọ soro no me franka me ahwefo na telefon bi di amasanto akọbia.
Hello, Ama. Na uhwe the various candidates na omunyina we agent wa masama ho ana okay nti gina yie na say results ne banso na wan fan kame KANTANKA TV etiefo nyina yo etiefo na ahwefo ye kofa ye reporter wo Amasaman constituency ana o kire say abato na aba na yie nti se ye kan wie a TV e be ya che na obi anso ehu de ekoso Roda na woka say
American on my personal view and American.
Okay.
But beyond the personal view, in America, shall say, a Juma in Sama or cut far John Mahama Hono. As some no as I be didn't change you. I just said $1 no and 12 cedis. Docono yet on 5 cedis. ECG, that's electricity, water, all utilities, and then only na no bokosro. So there is no way I'll catch and say you will sit as under this. We are the chairman of the economic planning team. Na meka say why are they? When you are they? Enti say when you are they, I don't know what say meka say ubetimi ayade. It doesn't hold that way. That's what you say. Enti that is my view. Say President Nana Addo Dankwa ne no ba ya ene no nko. Say moa bi wo ho na feel say ubetumi abuana na wabuano this 1 year no wabuano to put Ghana back on track because baby aye wano it is just worse than sending Jomahama no Demao. It's worse than that. So you don't expect us to say, Yanka Yanuntum, na Yanka say, Sambra.
Argument, more experts in say, Oshe Dr. Bamud Baumia, na onye president. Oye Mampeni Abedichre. Enti policies and programs be ohonoma, ono to be champion. Enti those who propose that he comes and say, Onoba Ebedi Mampeni, there will be massive change because in the first 4 years and 3 years, Munia, Abebe 7 years, it doesn't call the shots. What did you say to that?
Narrative, assessor. Because John Mahama, vice president, I'm not an NDC member, you know that. I'm a CPP.
Okay.
But they are the two major, it's a two-horse race. NDC forward, no. Time John Mahama, vice, no. And then one was no, and in charge, even though Mills was there.
Okay.
And I name say, time President Nanado Urban, or say, Nipa obebuana ye jumano a o gini di se ono betimi aye no was wine.
Baumia economic waste kid.
That's it. Okay. Economic waste kid. Yeah. The bureaucrat now so catch and say you're very competent against the incompetent John Mahama. Okay. Yeah, okay. No waste case. NASA went to me and deliver. You want to tell us that because you weren't given, you are not the president. No, it doesn't work that way. Okay. Because whatever it is, you were in charge. And based on Adriania Wunia, say a share, who can win a share? Because one of the ingredients in a buy, and a woman, and you sat on it and watched it. After all, president is not the one who does the routes. We call her to Amankwata.
Yes.
The free Amankwata. So the same way, when we are economic management team boss, economy no is gone bad. We put it on your doorstep because you should have done better. It doesn't matter if you were not the one riding it. You were the one that we were told were the whisk kid. That made us all look at it and say, even if President Nanado is gone through age and whatnot, you were young, vibrant, and very intelligent. What you say? So that is no excuse. For me, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia is just the same, looking through the mirror, Nana Adudankwa Akufo-Addo, president, who has brought Ghana to its knees. Have gone back to IMF. We are struggling, and we don't know how we are going to get our economy back. Now, that is the issue. For me,
Brother, from the political point of view, most of the NPP supporters, almost say from 2008 to 2020, the voting pattern of people in the north, because of Baumia influence, it always appreciates. And for most NPP folks, they believe that Baumia is the best man for the job. As I say, for some time past, now the Northern region votes are. If you juxtapose what NPP gets, not the NDC filed with the NPP. But Baumia influence, the voting pattern in the Northern Ghana keeps on increasing. Would you agree with anybody in NPP who can say Baumia is their best bet? As vice president, he has given them something substantial. Their vote to increase now.
There are so many dynamics at play.
Okay.
But Baumia, we lost Honorable Alima Mahama lost. Now let it go. Stronghold. Wale for Omotoma NPP. That's Baumia's hometown.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
I get you.
It doesn't hold that way.
Okay.
Certain dynamics came to play. There was a small problem in the Gonja area. NMA, John Mahama lost focus on certain issues, and also in the Tamale area. One thing about Northerners, Shadam vote to tribals are. Something happens, and then people just decide that we will not do this. It's like, let me just tell you, in my district in Garu, where I come from. People called me and said, look, we are NPP, but this one we will not vote for. We were going to vote for him, but because of what has happened, then we've changed our mind. You understand? So I said, okay, then vote for this person. Don't say you won't vote, but vote for this person. So what you say? So it is the dynamics are one northern, and most people don't know what is happening in the north right now. One will say, if you have Young Kusasifo, we are the second largest group in the north after the Gumbes.
Second largest?
Yes.
Okay.
Ethnic group.
Okay.
And we are not, shall I say, Baumiaist. As it stands, we were, some of us were. What you say? Then Lakula, in the Gonja Savannah area there, skirmishes happened. I'm sure you as a media person, you might have heard. And it all had to come. All of it was pointing at Vice President's office because of ethnicity. You think those people are just going to sit down and say that we will look at our traditional areas and then forget about it and vote? So they are just saying it. I can tell you that even Kennedy Japan will have more goodwill.
In the northern region?
Yes.
Than Mahmoud Bawumia?
I said he will have more goodwill. Because at the end of the day, I represent a group.
Okay.
I can speak for my group. And my group is certainly not in favor of that. And if you look at it critically, they keep saying the north is for Bawumia. You think, what? Who is Mahama? Is he a Sadna?
It's a Nordna.
It's a Nordna. Yes. Okay, how about the vote appreciation in the Ashanti region? What caused that? Have they thought of that? What caused the voter appreciation in the Ashanti region?
For the NDC.
For the NDC. Okay. Have they thought about that?
I think they will answer it.
Yeah, they should answer me. So at the end of the day, it's not a question. You see, it's not a question of the fact that because Bawumia came in. Yes, he came from a group.
Yes.
And of course, his group will definitely, even those who didn't vote for him before, will vote for him. Okay. But that does not mean that it's automatic that because he's a Northern, so is John Mahama. Sure. And if everybody is going to be voting for their own person, then it means going just to be voting for Mahama, then Mamprisus will be voting for him. Are you getting me?
I get you very
So it's not going to be that easy. Okay. It doesn't come like that.
Thank you, Rhoda. I've enjoyed your interactions. I mean, quite like Alaji, you share from this particular angle. Before 2008, even in 2012, I believe Bawumia brought something on board in terms of political intellectual discourse. Me can say Obia na why lectures yafa the economic indicators we na enkoye yeba ebe ni say we na enkoye ebe ni say nti it gave the intellectual base of Ghana something to hold on to. Near lectures, yeah, town hall meetings, and Bawumia was leading all these things. Do you think that the role he played before NPP coming into power would be a motivating factor for delegates to vote for him coming this election?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
In the case of Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, a typical case of a manifestation of what I call classical leadership criteria. Classical. You know, what I'm saying is that he erupted, from that group, into leadership. And that came with attraction. Misha see free the 2013 election petition. You remember, it took the NPP almost the period, the delay I hear say because now we're not even sure whether they were going to go or not.
Yes.
It took some time. All the gurus will have met. The party gurus will have met. Finally, who emerged as the
lead petitioner?
The lead petitioner.
Dr. Mahmoud.
Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Yes.
So what I say, what I'm saying is yes. When people talk today, say, we're buying charity, I mean, it's not the issue. The issue is the fact, you have somebody who displays all the leadership qualities, inspires the following, to meet a certain aspiration. So what I say. And for me, this is a classical demonstration of leadership. You inspire to meet an aspiration of a following. And that is what he did. And before NPP went to court, the Supreme Court, they were confident, by the display of whatever leadership, would have been shown before the decision was taken. Of course, so we heard about, the first time, pink sheet, you and I were not there, and that kind of thing. And that played a role. So what I say, he's got all the requisite academic qualification for, his office or for his position. And you may have others who may have the same thing, but who cannot even show leadership. So what I say, his is an eruption into leadership, classically. You see, when people want to put the burden of the difficulties of governance in which he serves as vice president on him, I don't think it holds water. The issue is that because every vice president in the constitution plays a delegated role. You play a delegated role. You cannot overreach the president. You cannot overreach the president. You play a delegated role. You see, the issue of being the head of the EMT, Economic Management Team, or is it the police council or whatever? Yes, these are all issues of finding something for the vice president. But even there, you report
the president.
To the president.
Yeah.
The buck stops at the president. So I say, you see, when he came and offered all those lectures up to whatever level, which animated the party, for followership and a whole lot of things, he did so with sincerity. And all the postulates that he gave, it's not that they don't hold, they hold. But governance, reality, and the postulates are two different things. And more importantly, when you are not totally in charge, you can't claim, you cannot overreach, the executive, or the executive president. And that is as far as that is concerned. You see, when we also say, Dr. Bawumia doesn't talk about some of these things, I think it's prudence. If you are playing a delegated role, now you want it to go certain direction, and you are not getting it from the executive president. You don't go complain and say, I wanted this to be done this way, my president is not allowing me. No, you can't. And I think Enokrano has endeared him to party members because he didn't rock the boat. As we speak now, I think nobody can say Dr. Bawumia had created some kind of scandal or friction. He's not demonstrated or shown that he has had friction with anybody. But more importantly, to buttress the case, you have the executive president holding his own now. Look at members of NPP parliamentarians walking to the president and saying, we don't want this minister.
Finance minister.
You understand?
Yes.
Be over and above even the vice president. Have you heard the vice president say anything about it? No. And what does that tell you? You think that everything, that he kept working with, he agreed with everything? No. Because I'm sure, for the parliamentarians who have walked and demanded the removal of the finance minister, tells you, tons of issues, within the Sahindra or whatever.
The Sahindri.
The Sahindri. So
don't you think that
yes.
Okase Onye president inti,
yes,
he couldn't have done a lot. The time he was doing the lectures, didn't he know, obey deputy? Now, a lot of things, the back will not stop with him. Some people think that he has been very dishonest. As I say, Onye president. Into A, B, C, D, you have your limitations. But still, you went ahead to promise. Into by all means, when things go wrong, you can't exonerate yourself. Also, can be?
It is wrong even to assume that. When the president, just like you quoted the president, he's an economic whiskey,
yes,
and I'm going to work with him. The president made that statement openly.
Openly, yes.
Good. And he also being an academician, he is now coming in. He's now coming in. And you don't tell him to put his knowledge at the background and dim his brilliance. He shouldn't dim his brilliance. He spoke as an economist, and mind you, you know that he has gone to help many particularly Zimbabwe. You understand? As an IMF operative or official, you understand? So he was stepping in the first time. He was stepping in the first time. So you cannot blame him. He is talking as an economist. And more so coming from the Bretton Woods. So most of the things that he's saying, you cannot blame him. So if he held himself, for that matter, as the Bretton Woods person, and therefore advising. But when he walked into the room, then you know that there are certain steps that you cannot climb. He could not climb, even though the president would have shown him as his economic whiskey. There might be certain blocks. Remember also when we were trying to get is it a yield levy thing?
Yeah.
You didn't hear me talk. You understand? You didn't hear him talk.
No, he said he didn't.
No, see on supporting.
No, but that's what. Yes. No, because he has said it before. Did he complain? He didn't complain. He kept quiet. What I'm saying is that he didn't. Look.
I like it.
Yes.
You don't ascribe to no.
Yes.
Say a cost wa ba mu.
Yeah.
Now share na say a cost wa. Now we the benipa.
No, the point is that that will have even be worse, form of leadership manifestation. Anything. Say bibi unim say or china bibi tima in a year, and they are not taking what you believe in. You bid your time, and that's what he's done. And I think
things are going wrong.
Oh no, but that's prudent. No, at the end of the day, what happened? At the end of the day, what happened? Has the yield levy worked out completely? No. So he's proven right. It has not worked completely. I will say about because he said it. As for when the fundamentals
are weak,
the city. Of course, it's a global scenario. The world has since changed, dramatically, whether you like it or not. With COVID and the Ukraine-Russian thing, nobody can deny the ravages. It has wreaked on the global economy. That's what I say. And for anybody to come and sit down and say hypothetically, it is not that. I don't think. And look, the minority, when even they raised the issue, I think they had all the opportunity.
Yes.
Omunya ekwenya, tama no omo kan say, yenyini ni yempese we say no. The point if it's accountability, which is omunyina call mrashebejom.
Okay.
To demand accountability. As we speak now, no. Niema ye kan eto aban so say, say no. Me just say, ye mrashebejom for enya kwan aye. You see? Na yamamwo no se ne esi akwakwa yesese no nti na me ka se nkananka ye nyina ka ho bi eni enimu a nka nkomodie ne very simple de bia dede aye ne chocho no because me ne wo ye te sumu even though ye ne suma wo mo because nyama bebre wa ye nim even ye organized labor kra no omo kra no amemfa se omo ewo aban mu omo ye adwuma no omo so de omo eti akohihye ensuase so they say nti nyama no bebre ba Auditor General Bapa and almost no almost the same thing. What I say? These are problems that we are talking about. And the minority there want to be or beka. na ama aban no enimo aguase na tumi na nipa hwehwe but nka ye nyina ka ho bia ena nka aban wo so kire say ne see ya ena nka ntiase wo ha I'm talking about the area of accountability so they say nka ye nyina beti ase enko ba say wo say aban bra kire ne kire nsemu eye bibi mu quite recently political parties outside parliament niema bia na epese yehu akwa banta bia anase ball bia manfo national cathedral ayi we demand ye call ho ekokotie se na niema si ko so dia se enti sa na epese enka niema ye no enti wan hwe yi na donkuma no eba be kan niema bebre na say ye ya my brother niema no bebre no wo say domosuko na ye tiase anya sa atembia no ye be ka enti as far as Dr. Baumia is concerned, between say, look, the NPP had no choice, and any choice in but what I'm saying is, it is the best leadership manifestation. I mean, a candy power, what then it is.
And so, to found you say, Baumia is the best person for the NPP. Now.
I mean, no doubt.
Mate, that's it. The person share some very brief and important things for Hanum say. Proud to this presidential primaries, no. In same Piago Kokoso. Na omu ye do 10. And ye taste for the bar 5. Yedim de see here Honorable Alan Chamantin Efrimu. Before this particular elections, yet issues about vote buying. T2 scammer Wilson Kontomawi. Quite recently in Northern Ghana, one of the candidates, Japan, said the camp of the Vice President Chiska to sway the vote. What is the place of vote buy in our elections currently? Me fan only on the point of this NPP primaries. Say ye kwa about 2 mu among for Chiska. Say tuma way. Sunsanso bi ana say obi kwato na aba okura na adwen now say je 200 cedis the 50 Ghana toma candidate A and B. How will it affect the country? Ti e ma ho kwan say yento vote na yento aba.
Say adena kwa say enipa na ewia to me.
Okay.
Because to me no wonim say bia wonya e na wo tua ma ye de ama wo.
Okay.
Ti na che say wo wia anya to me. Na nsensenso a ewo ho ni say yenya correct people na ewo say won mo hwe yeso no because adena kwa say wo akuta sika no wo na obetumi aiden enya to me no
the highest bidder
na highest bidder no so no ya na dangerous because say ya anya careful organized crime womo ye illegal businesses one betumi hijack system no.
Yeah, correct.
Ti one hijack system na akoye say security kura ye nya bi. Into no vote buying any inducement no de e ya de wosanka ye twa krafi ya brabum. But then so wo hwe nso a one of the reasons why vote buying any nyama ekoso is because NCCE e wosanka aban Emma womomoa na womo call round koya education e church amanfo ejuma e wosa aban ye ejuma oye se MP ye ni tumi ejuma ankran so tumi aha se sanka NCC ye wo ejuma ye a vote buy no e be brase because amanfo e be understand they say MP want to me mama kwan. You understand?
Yes.
Intino so oba no so be catch them say meya kwan me say ya obwa. Odi atro. But it's not there. It's most of the time no. And which so we always say that for some of us when you say aban bia ba na wa ma a commanding crofo. Say na be ya edu voting a
Otioka.
na no wetioka na wa kwato ama no. And ehia nintino o 55 bra oje. There've been situations yako campaign kura na obi to make ehwe wenim ka cho say woman 10 cedis madam me vote in the mom 10 cities mamo. You know, it just shows the level of poverty and womb. So they impoverish us and then they pay us to vote for them, which is bad. Yes, Anna, to you maybe uncle so. Yanka sounds so young.
Rodana, Oshemwa, then I bet me I stop this vote buying. Make I say one of the districts in the country, Neko confirm DCB. And Oka say they didn't vote for him in Tino, it's kind of Tiano on Fambra. Do you think, before you call, do you think, say, OSP, any other agencies of state, almost say accountability because no? It's about time they get more or less like spies around during elections to ensure, say, would best and say, you must be able to bite the bullet. I will say you're putting measures in place to ensure that encoso. As I say, as a worker, we will get people almost the criminals. Almost kabu, because okay, young support the political party way. Now, if they support them also, what it means is that we will get crooks, rogues, and criminals in government.
Exactly.
Then they will see a year as a mine, and the two mafiosos, and the two would buy as well. Ghana, Hanum say.
You see, say, o mine biano, sempon to Juma or Obia near Juma be what you may share no home. What you see, and near my Cosubiano, you discuss it passionately, Obia Tiasia. Our mom so doesn't feel intimidated. Say, Ebia, sister, say, winner takes all. No,
yeah.
What I say, you just feel say meritocracy and a year Juma. Say me what to me now if I buried that job means Abeka so and so. But because of the nature of our politicking, winner takes all no a woman. I company say, sad no, it will be very difficult to stop unless it is something that is started nationwide except for the states.
Okay.
Lifestyle audits. Because a hono na edebache mpenyifo omo sika omo tumi eden etua sa sika no de man krofo se toma me no. Me no wo ye nya sa sika no. Enkonkoye. Oti hono nice young man, you can represent your constituency but uniska. O constituency nim say, oh, obetumi aye adwuma no but
no cash.
No cash.
Yeah.
So on. So how do we stop it? We have to stop that man now think crime and of you kumasi bana. Obi ani medjuma oye.
Thank you.
Wo sika otumi eyi sasika no point de money pass set tuma esimeso no. I was say you hu baby a ono onya ni sika no fi. Now we take that person on. Now tell you to me yes it will reduce.
Okay. Brother, that's it. I'll take it from a different angle. You see, I day NPP for so. I'm more presidential primaries. Prior to this primaries, there are several utterances among 4P Yakasa. Prominent among them are in Japan. Before this election, see, you showdown. May I see. Yes, also to say, a fact. Said the Honorable Alan Shermantin, a resign from the party. Yes, answer saying you may be a course war, Nini Angel. When say party no to say you're a candidate. In today, but is just more or less like a formality. In Tikasako, so recently, so yet the wife of the vice president, or then who Jimmy be. Cancel the canon assembly say he doesn't want to speak no Kasa, ABC, the BC. I don't want to repeat those things. As a party going to a major elections next year, what do you think some beya about bringing unity in their party to be able to break the eight, as they are saying? Then also more year to bring about in Kabum as they are moving on to the election in 2024.
Earlier on.
Okay.
Say party ni mi ni nyina NDC NPP. So far organizationally no. Omu nyina omu naso papa. Omu nyina omu naso. Kire se esi ahenefo ana se yen eto aba ene omu epetumi no gap no eso.
Okay.
Gap no eso. Protocol you need interface bia. I mean, apart from say yeba be vote or yeba on chair no. which is the only interface, you know. You need a IBA and also your interface. Just say one. Party and also mind biano. Me say ni susudie bia a values. So they say.
Okay.
Susudie bia at least e wo say ye nyina agitum say ye hwe say beboa yen. Ya anye no a e wo susanso wo meso e wo sososo. Wa wo petumi no. Se ya anye niema ni bia e wo susanso wo nyina so.
Okay.
Na e wo say yetimi hia e wo baby ni di san komo no.
The best say yenya provisional results from some constituencies.
Beautiful. Let's go.
We'll put them on the screen. Yenya results from the NPP headquarters.
Okay.
NPP headquarters.
Okay.
First on the ballot, Ken Ohine Japan. Yenya 133.
Okay.
133 from the headquarters. Provisional results from KANTANKA television.
Okay.
Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, Yenya 254. 254.
133 254.
Owusu every year kuto enya mienu A2. Francis Adenimo enya 4. Rejected votes enya 393. What? I'm quite surprised. The NPP headquarters Kennedy Ohine Japan enya 133 133. Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, Vice President 254 254. Honorable Owusu Efri Akoto enya 2. Francis Adenimo enya 4. Rejected enya 393. Quite surprising your rejected ballot no. Ezan say unim say your core headquarters the crust of the party.
Yes.
Ministers, party officials, and what have you. And like say we your provisional results enya our KANTANKA TV. Yanko Asen Central, the constituency of Kennedy Japan. Ken enya 491. 491. That is his home constituency. It's surprising. Dr. Mahmoud Baumia 16.
Okay.
16, 16. Owusu Efri Akoto nya 0 when ya vote bia. Francis Adenimu enya 0 when ya vote bia. Rejected votes 0. Until they compare headquarters with the say Kenya Ponya vote no. Member subiem and one constituency or no DMP. With DMP for almost 20 years in that particular constituency. Onya 491. 491. Ken Ejapon. Dr. Baumia 16. 16. Owusu Efri Akoto nya 0. Adenimo Francis onya 0. Asen Central constituency here called Okankwe Central. Okankwe Central in Greater Accra region. A honor so no. Wow. Ken Japan. Enya 332. 332. Mahmoud Baumia 334. 334. Owusu Efri Akoto nya 0 hwe nya hwe. Adenimo Francis enya 2. Rejected votes 0.
That's close.
Members to be Okankwe Central in Greater Accra region. Ken Japan enya 332. Mahmoud Baumia Vice President nya 334. The difference is only 2. Also, if you are going to vote, and Adenimo Francis enya 2. That is Okankwe Central in Greater Accra region. Mayanko Bogatanga East. Bogatanga East.
Your backyard.
Bogatanga East constituency. Honorable Ken, and also the northern part of the country, and the northern regions. Honorable Ken, enya 8. 8 votes. Mahmoud Baumia Vice President enya 242. 242. Efri Akoto enya 0. Adenimo Francis enya 1. Mebosu biom. Ken Japan enya 8. Mahmoud Baumia His Excellency enya 242. Owusu Efri Akoto enya 0. Adenimo enya 1. Rejected ballot 0. That is Bogatanga East constituency. Where your provisional results enya Efri Bogatanga East. In the Munko so share KANTANKA TV. As and when the vote trickle in, we'll bring it for the people to also be able to see.
The whole of
Alajina Yekaza about party unity. Say after elections, no. Omakasa bebre. Now shemwa, how can the party hold themselves together be able to break the 8. Now what's our kasa?
Okay. As a matter of fact, the TN say, your party supporter, a year and no edahodada traditional.
Okay.
Sebi obia ono ni fie omo NDC ana NPP no.
Okay.
Entimi nkobase ombedan omochi ama party no.
Okay.
Nemom ahokeka no ebe problem.
Okay.
But the American say, you know, maka so dada. Say organization for governance apply to the party as well. Say ufa omamuni nyina na what difficulties in communicating no. The same thing. I mean governance communication no. And I say you best establish values.
Okay.
You know, state capture,
okay.
Vote buying, corruption, any nyama nyina no. Values. You know, near me bia isusie bia wosenka ye nyina agitum se e won sunsanso e woye ho but yentimi enhia pempenso bia bimfan se omo a tumi kura wo mo ene yen soso a wo se ye boa no yentimi enkyere adwenkoro.
Okay.
So what I say, normally you will be at town hall meetings and so on and so forth.
Okay.
A hot enna and can sa niema we no. De bia then ye sacrem na ye chere ya dwen say ye nibra samwa edahoni. You know. And unit committees kura na making unit committees. Ye I mean ye be call this level election a waste of resources. So what I say because it doesn't work. Mitimi so baby out tell who unit committee members are. Asam two was a
I don't know my assembly.
Asam two was a no, I'm serious about it. And we just say serious. A constitutional stipulation. But unfortunately we are not applying it. Internationally, no, we have that problem. Party knows also that problem. The town hall meetings are not working. Bibi eto ewo wumpotam sesia na unhu baby obeko. I'm telling you, there are so many things complaint redress system. As someone to me, here I mean look, I break it down.
Okay.
Governance. Uko brochira ya kansa brochira. Local government system works 100%. In fact, I know MPs they do look, virtually you know your MP.
Yes.
They have what you call surgery. Or is it clinic? You know, they call surgery. You know, that they hold surgery with the MPs. And MPs also be person who be awo. Is your concern? So they say, and local government elections now, it determines who party no be win and as a win it. I mean, the national party, because they do, I mean, local government elections and some of my general elections.
Alaji,
yes.
Yes. By the close of day today.
That's right.
The elections will be over for the NPP.
Exactly.
Now I'm sharing from the angle say one person will win. Elections you draw behind him.
That's right.
And see, say who two NPP 4-4. What do you think they must be able to do to unite going forward?
A lot of interaction.
Okay.
Nearma enka under normal circumstances.
Yeah.
You know, you be structures are. You see, structures in ho.
Okay.
Structures in ho. Local government structures in ho. Who can say who depending on assembly say, oh, you know, also the unity about you have a problem. And the most important thing also mo say. Fortunately, you were what do you call it? They also have their
conflict resolution.
No, it's not conflict. It's not even conflict resolution. I mean the party structure.
Okay.
The party structure. Also omusum papa. Party structure also omusum. Also omo down. But the Americans think structures no ha. If they were doing town hall meetings before, they almost share nipa bebre. Because this time, no, it's not only addressing the party people.
Okay.
You know, you address the party people all right, but at least also ubiemu na communities, you know, whatever structure or anya and get to the community, no, very, very basic. You have to talk to the community more. So, and sana, you know, party structure and also yet down, which me it drew. You know, this time we are not talking even about a neck, but so or more, the unit committee comes from where? Electoral area.
Electoral area.
Yeah, they have the electoral area. There was a more electoral area members, you know, not omo kaboom.
Okay.
And of course, displaying the kind of leadership. Oh, if the leadership is right, you don't have a problem. If the leadership is right, you don't have a problem. Because already I know that they have made certain promises. You know, and once again, how do you allow? You see, because near Kenya basically say if the party members at the grassroots are participating and they know their participation is very relevant to the leader, unity has come.
Okay.
That's all. It's scientific.
But they must get involved.
I mean, if they must have a structure, say you are participating. And when that is done, you don't have a problem. Of course, I've heard the Bawumia camp say, nominations to governance, you know, will be distributed among, you know, the constituencies and so on and so forth. You know, that is a basic tool for participation. They go, if there's a proven, say, Kwembi, Ewa, me a faso, now or more elect, say, you know, be a Madam Rhoda, you know, a activist, you know, or no, you didn't be whatever position, other women a year as communication. Now, yeah, che, you know, because, you know, of course, the winner takes all, of course. Say, ba.
Has gone back.
Okay.
No, but
I'm only saying that.
But that's a unit.
Yeah, at the end of it, that's what I'm saying. At the end of it is again the small. Yes, it's just going down there.
Because my blood and everything is on participatory democracy. Okay. If it doesn't work, you know,
that's why
we have a problem.
Okay. Thank you very much, Alaji.
Yes.
Madam Rhoda, you know, you know, say, almost year 10, almost call contest, no, Bako Efrimu. Even though qualified to contest in the special conference on Mokwe, Ujidi say the concerns no raising say there was no level playing field. I know I would lose. As I say, they have not been fair to me. Do you think that going into these elections, no, the NPP as a party, no, almost who say yama level playing field, sembrano be uncontested. And again, before this contest, no, almost party for from their secretary omo say omo nyina sign taking say after the elections obia and free mubium. Do you think that will work? Na enye dwuma nso a then a bit me of course make say okay my sign there but I will not be able to agree to the pact. As I say CNC and constantly kill a bird with two birds with one stone. Do you think that the party has been able to work enough to ensure say yebenya level playing fields for obia? And secondly no. Do you foresee anybody leaving the NPP again after this contest?
Kakra, me can say, and kakra me hunu. I've got a few results.
Okay.
I've looked at a few results, and it's really sad because, say, party as it stands now, on block.
Okay.
You know, on block. Too many papa. Now, one more marking in 00000. It doesn't augur well for Joy.
No more choice.
No, I'm only saying it's their choice, but then it goes to show you the mindset of the constituents or the people. So what you say, you know, sanka sane yena ende anke binumu emfimu. You get what I'm saying? But going forward, you know, I felt that signing that document, actually say, wonfimu and all those things, you know, was not necessary.
Okay.
Because nipa no den ho na say after this, you know, we haven't heard anything because we are sitting in here.
Okay.
We don't know what has been happening. Radio what you say.
Okay.
So it is going to be after the results have come out, and then everybody has either accepted or not.
Okay.
But to say that more being Fimono, I don't think it's going to hold. I don't think it's going to show that will not take it lying down.
Okay.
What you say? I wish to say they could go back on the drawing board and bring some form of unification pact to be for all of them to come together, and work together. Devoid of nesia, it even went down to personal and all those things. But you see, with those kinds of issues, one starts to think, say, at this time, na show mu that our person will catch them. You get me? Yeah. So it was something that you already had. You thought about it. This is it. And I don't think say it would be infim, but I would, if Kennedy doesn't make it, I would ask him to stay.
To stay in the party?
Yes.
No. Okay.
I know that if Vice President doesn't make it, he would definitely stay.
Sure.
But the one that we are all looking at is Ken.
Okay.
Because he's the one who's giving him the run for his money. But Mia, because I can, if you don't make it, you stay in there. But won't crawl for mom and fata wunianichi.
Okay. Rhoda, I'm here to discussion on many Rhoda and Alajina have it in the studio. Now, KANTANKA TV special coverage on the NPP special conference to elect Omo flag bearer going into the elections next year, 2024. Yakasache, na ya share some of the prospects of the candidate. Say Mahmoud Bawumia, what are his chances into the elections? Kene Japan, Adenimo, ena free yakoto. Iwicha on kakraya ba, yebeto aso. Mungus wan share KANTANKA television.